hello everyone.
Hello.
Why would we need a horny police fest? I don't understand.
Uh,
Or waffle police, rather. Sonat, you're first. You want a compliment? Thank you for telling me about this game because I had fun and you did a good job pointing it out to me. This will be a bloodbath though, so you gotta get ready.
Yep. Everybody needs to wear their raincoats for this one.
Oh my god, they do.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hi 7624, hi Fest. Hi Haircut. Hello everyone. Yeah, Drake, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm sorry again for sneezing in your ear before we begin.
It's all good. It's all good. I if you don't want the tapes to get out, you better don't cross me later.
Exactly. Oh, that Vtuber sneezes. Oh my god! What the fuck?
Yeah.
This game.
This
That
game.
cover.
So what is this? I mean, it very much wears its aim and influence on its sleeve. We are talking about Phoenix Command today. And if you thought like a game like Rollmaster is too complex and too table-y, then I have good news for you. It is really not, because this game exists. So maybe you should reserve your ire for. No, not really. You should hate all of this.
Yes.
Though honestly, like while this game is too complex for me to fully grasp, I think they did a better job of getting where they wanted to be and not doing bullshit.
Yeah.
Or I'm scared this is TableTop, but I see guns already. I'm confused. Killian, just you wait. So,
yeah.
Phoenix Command, leading edge games.
Yes, leading edge games. That should tell you everything you need to know about how edgy the game design is.
Yes. A lot of it should also be told to you by this very extensive list of people who worked on this product. Because we have one principal designer, we have one writer, we have 5 playtesters, and 2 people made illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
This game came out in 1986, as we see here, or maybe the publishing date somewhere around that time. So it is one of the old ones. This is that is old, almost.
Yeah, almost.
So the introduction is worth just reading out verbatim, so you know what we are getting into. The Phoenix Command Small Arms Combat System has been designed to blend a very accurate simulation of man-to-man combat with a fast, straightforward set of rules. The second part they did not achieve. The mechanics of fire and movement, the capabilities of a wide range of modern weapons, and the effects of injuries are all accurately presented, using simple systems and easy-to-read tables. Okay, it is equal value to the student of the military, the wargamer interested in man-to-man gaming, and the role player who desires greater realism than is possible with most game systems. To get started, players should read Chapter 1, which explains... Okay, we don't need to read that. So, their set goal is to make a more realistic combat system using guns. We should all be very afraid of this right now.
As I've done in the past, when we do old RPGs, I looked up to see what other games were released in '86, and a couple of them are a surprise.
Yeah.
It's the same year as GURPS. Same year as Robotech. Same year as Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay.
Oh no.
And Ghostbusters. So yeah, quite a few names in there that were big deals, while this one wasn't.
Yeah, Zach, you got to the tabletop talk. Congrats. So we should mention before we go on. Let me do a quick count here. This is how many files? 22. So this book is the base rules for this. This company released in very quick succession 21 additional books for the Phoenix Command system with such fun names as Advanced Damage Tables, Advanced Rules for Small Arms Combat, Artillery System, Civilian Weapons Supplement, Expansion.
Oh no!
Yeah, oh no! That one is potentially very, very, very bad.
Naughty.
Fatigue rules, hand-to-hand combat system, high-speed pursuit system, lock and load, mechanized combat system, mechanized light vehicles, mechanized playing aids, mechanized World War II anti-tank guns, mechanized World War II heavy tanks, mechanized World War II medium tanks, mental damage system, which we will all need that one. Special weapons data supplement, Wild West weapon data supplement, World War II weapon data supplement. That is all of them. And animal combat is also indeed a thing. Yes. Did I gloss over animal combat? I know.
I think it's included in another supplement. I think it's the expansion.
Right. It's probably I may view these with large icons. Oh no, that's PDFs. Why don't you preview what? God damn it.
So yeah, expansion has animals in it because
okay.
the first page there's a lot of animals on it.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So if you want to expand, you do it with animals.
Exactly. Always animals. Good for expansion.
And then after that, or during that, I'm not sure exactly when they worked on stuff, they did their own setting, which is a sci-fi setting. And they got the rights to the Aliens, specifically Aliens, so the second movie. And made an RPG about aliens. And we are gonna get through all of that if we can, but let's look at this sucker on the first book they ever made first. So as we see, this is not long. It's only like 50 whatever pages, and then we have a bunch of tables, which are not page numbered, which is concerning to say the least for readable tables. If you don't page number your tables, maybe that's
again an engineer.
Yeah. Oh, we had talked about engineer brain on this before. You said it before we started as well. Yeah, this is the most engineer brain book you have ever seen.
Yeah, just flat out. Like from the table number, from the section numbering to just so many other things. Tech.
The PDF, as you can see, is 91 pages long. We end on 54. However, this is page 5 for the document, so the 90 pages, meaning we are a cool 36 pages of tables.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's actually the most egregious thing about this book immediately. Like, because if we scroll down, there's just text here, right? There's minimal tables to show you stuff, and actually they're pretty cool. Maybe there's even some like very basic stuff here, which you could see in the normal book. And then eventually we just arrive at Table Central. And they show a lot of pictures for guns, I'll tell you that for free. Anyway, let's go back up and see how to use this book.
How to use this book.
Yeah. So, using the game, blah, 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 you play it. We know, it's not very surprising. Here we see a sample character. Here's their stats. Here's their combat actions and impulse actions, whatever those are. We get to that. Their knockout value. Their weapon is all of this. This is one weapon, to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
This is the we don't know weapon. It's just a weapon. They didn't write a name.
It's probably the M16.
I guess it's the M16, but you could have written it here. It would feel more readable. And then they have no armor, so that's the character. And then you have some stuff here, and then Very important that we have income. Wait, holy fuck, this document is actually text scanned? Holy fuck, I didn't expect that at all.
This is OCR, yeah.
Wow. Okay, good job whoever scanned this. I did not expect you to. Okay, this is also OCR'd. Oh, this is actually a font. Holy crap. Oh, wait, it's not a font. That's really cool. How did they do that? I could get these different aids.
The program that I use for OCR is able to pick up stuff like that too.
Oh, okay.
It's super advanced these days. What you can do
That's
with
super.
OCR.
That is, okay. Well, maybe, you know. If you know, you know.
And that quote is amazing. Wow. How do you expect me to fight with this helmet on? And this ammo weighs a ton. Humbert no-dos.
It rhymes, and this is a stupid quote because this character has no armor. This is clothing. What's this, 5? Is this pounds or kilos? I don't know, but this is 5 pounds for clothing. Okay, I guess with boots, maybe. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so we have some stats we can recognize. We have some base speed and some maximum speed and stuff. We have combat action, CA, and then like it kind of a skill accuracy level, which is just one thing, which is curious, but we'll get to that. And an in skill factor, which is here we see our great abbreviations for everything. It's not it doesn't look too complicated, right? So far.
Nope.
This is the most American name I've ever seen. There's no way 8 kilos. Yeah, that's okay. That's very, very fair, yeah. And then we see like, how do we generate stats? Oh, we roll 3d6 down the line. So this guy rolled really well, considering Trent. Like rolled above average for everything except for agility, which is very slightly below average. You would expect like a 10.5 average. So yeah, good job, Trent. And then from that we derive some characteristics. Oh no, sorry, we derive some. Oh yeah, step 2, skill level. The character's ability is represented by his gun combat skill level. This should now be established using the following guidelines. Skill levels range from 0 to 20, with level 0 being someone with no training whatsoever. An average soldier in an average army is assumed to be of 3rd or 4th skill level, while highly trained elite troops are 5th to 7th. Outstanding members of elite units might be 9 to 12th, and only truly exceptional people would be higher level. 20th level is the maximum possible. Those of you who are using other role-playing games will have your own way of generating skill levels and acquiring experience or training. Simply adjust that system to this scale to determine your skill levels. What does this mean? Well, this game originally wasn't meant to be played on its own, except maybe as a war game. No, it was meant to be grafted onto some other game where there exist guns to make that more realistic. Which is a very weird proposition that I don't think has ever worked ever. Because obviously I play a game. Let's say, what could we play? Let's say we play BattleTech. Came out the same year we just heard. So, and then we get into a firefight without our mechs. And the rules for BattleTech are maybe a bit simple, right? And then we are like, oh, let's graft onto the game we are playing a second game for which we then have to just wing it. It is the weirdest idea I've ever heard, and I've never heard it before for a role-playing game, and I don't think anyone ever had it again either.
Nope. Like, there's games that will, like, okay, this is intended for D20 games. That's different. You already have like an intended target. This game was intended to be used with any game.
Yeah. Any game that has American guns in it, that has to be important. Yeah. Because the game doesn't really give you any tools for example, representing an energy weapon right now. I don't think it does. I didn't find that.
No.
Oh, Katsun, you were rolling bad. I am so sorry. If it's physical dice, you need to change the die. And then you have to smash the bad die in front of the others with a hammer.
Yeah.
As an example.
That's the only way to make it work.
Yeah. Alternatively, you put it in like a jar or something and keep it in there. Like, well, and also hi Daisy. Like, it's to get back to it. Like, what the heck? This is very much a product that someone made for themselves. This feel.
Yep,
like,
that's what it is. This was somebody sitting down going, the gunplay in this game doesn't satisfy me, or all these other games. I'm going to write my own system just for the gunplay, because then it will be perfect.
Yep.
And then not realizing that this doesn't really fit onto much of anything.
Yeah, and then they had the resources to make it, to publish it. That's what the difference might be here. Then you determine your encumbrance, because that's important for running and shit. Because these people are also clearly veteran soldiers, like super clear. Because they do know their stuff when it comes to like realistic depiction of gunplay in a, like if you wanted to make it, if you want to boil it down to the important bits. But yeah, you do encumbrance math. We don't really care about the math here, but they really do. Base speed, cross-index the strength, step 1, and encumbrance, step 3 on table 1A. Maximum speed, cross-index agility, and base speed on table 1B. Like, and here's what's really engineer-brained and bad about this. These tables should be right here, obviously. Because even if this is a ring book, which it was, this is a ring book. So you could take out the tables. So very technically, it's more efficient to have the tables next to the book, but still, like its layouting is terrible, and you will only do this math in this moment. So who cares if you have the table somewhere?
Yep. Like,
also
bad
next
design. Don't do this.
Yeah. Also, next problem. I say you will only do it here. I'm actually wrong, because you have to do this every time. Oh, I eat an apple. Well, the apple is no longer in your pocket, so the encumbrance is low. So please do the math again. What, you have expended like half your ammo? That's like a pound of bullets. So now you can run quicker. Like no one will remember. But the game technically demands that every time your encumbrance changes, you have to like change your speed, and your speed determines how many actions you take and shit like that. It's very weird. The character's skill accuracy level, SAL, is not determined. This measures his skill with weapons, and obviously has significant effect on how accurate his shots will be. The greater the SAL, the greater the expertise. It is found opposite the gun combat skill level at table 1C, and should be recorded on the status sheet. Note that there's rapid increase in the SAL as characters move through the low levels. This is because of the very rapid improvement in ability, which comes from even a single training or practice. But but you didn't tell us how much gun combat skill we get, my guy. So do I just choose it and then I don't rapidly advance because I'm already at 6? How do I... Okay, maybe we learn later how to XP in this game. Who knows? We are
We're going on an adventure here, everybody.
Yeah. Your intelligence skill factor. This is the sum of the intelligence characteristic plus skill accuracy level. Recorded on the status sheet. Intelligence in this sense does not present learning, but general quickness of wit and reaction, which it usually never does. Intelligence representing reaction is totally weird to me and wrong.
Yeah, it's very weird, because like we've been playing Vampire, they distinguish intelligence and wits at every turn.
It's not done, and it makes no sense. A university professor is super smart. It's not quick on his feet when reacting to things automatically due to that. Like, this is kind of math brain, where they assume, when I throw the ball, I can do the math as to when I have to let go of the ball, kind of thing.
Yes.
And it's just inaccurate. Some people are not like that, my dude. Most people are not like that. And then you get your combat actions, which are determined by stuff, and basically determine how often you can act in 1 second. Sorry, 2 seconds.
Yep.
No, sorry. A combat action is 2 seconds long, and each phase of it is half a second in impulse. So, if you thought Shadowrun was a bit like quick with its with having 3-second turns. In this game, a dude who has, well, I guess partially intelligence matters, so 13 intelligence and then agility 10. So, like average human stats, according to the game, acts 8 times in 2 seconds.
Yeah, this game is really cracked in that regard.
And this is without like the reflex boosters and combat drugs and stuff. It's just that. Then
this guy isn't even built different. He doesn't even have a Sandy. This is a normal guy.
The bullet in the arm does very little harm. A bullet in the head can make you very dead. Fred the singing bandit.
Wow.
Like this is really like this. These are the true gems of this book. These little stupid quotes.
I'd rather hang out with the blue bandit.
Yeah, blam blam stop, blam police, blam officer Exley. Ha ha, very funny police brutality.
Yep.
It's also like there's also reeks of a weird conservative writing this. By the way, the author of this book, or the main designer of these rules, rather, I'm not sure who like counts as the author between the two people who wrote on it. Is on, by this point, I guess maybe was, I'm not sure if they're retired now, a rocket engineer for NASA, which makes total sense.
Wait, which one? Barry Nakazono
I
or
forget.
David McKenzie?
I forget which one. I think David, but don't quote me. I would have to look it up. It's not really super important. Barry says
Nakazono was the proposal
thank you,
engineer.
Sandert. Like it is very on point. This is very much what you would be if you wrote this. Then guns get about as many stats as a person. Length, like who fucking cares? First of all, the weapon's length of stock folded, while the overall deployed length. Who cares? Gun nut brain is what we see here immediately.
Yep, gun nut brain. That's the best way to put it. It really is.
Wait, does not include the holster thing. Like, I don't care. This is very much the point where I can be like, I do not give a fuck about your gun weights. Reload time. The time in action counts required to fully reload the weapon. Rate of fire. The time in action counts required to chamber a round from the weapon's magazine. Chamber a round from the weapon's magazine. What the fuck?
Okay, so I have to tell you this because I had to Google this, and then this is what I got. Apparently, there's an app for this game that exists today.
Yes, there's people writing these rules as code, which we will get to that. We'll get to that.
I'm just a little preview for everybody there. Holy shit! What the fuck? All right.
An asterisk indicates self-loading action in which a round is chambered automatically after each shot fired. This type of weapon round is always ready for the fire until the magazine is empty. But it takes time to put it in there regardless by the mechanism. Number followed by a star without brackets, like this is very easy to remember, indicates the weapon is capable of fully automatic fire and gives the number of rounds fired per half-second burst. As with no ROF entry have no magazine, time required to prepare a shot is given by the reload time. Okay, that's like a single shot sniper or whatever. Ammo capacity, ammo weight, and feed device. A belt, drum, magazine, individual. Yeah, this is very important. Knockdown. Measures the weapon's knockdown capability. This has nothing to do with physical damage or incapacitation, but can be used to determine if the projectile's momentum knocks the target off his feet or off balance. This is discussed in the optional rules of Chapter 5.
Yes. And notice the abbreviation, all you Zoomers. KD. No, my KD!
Sustained automatic burst, the measure of the weapon's recoil and its accuracy during long bursts of automatic fire. This is used in advanced automatic fire rules of Chapter 3. Aim time modifiers, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. Like, holy shit. Like, this is the most stats for weapons in any book ever. This is so stupid. This book was written by a gun nerd who only touched the firearm video games. No, Killian, this is before video games.
That's the thing. Yeah.
1986. This is before they had gun. This is when did Wolfenstein come out?
Wolfenstein was
Wolfenstein
92.
3D. Yeah.
So like 6 years before Wolfenstein. I mean,
this is what definitely would have been a gun nerd in games, but this is too old. This is before computer games. This is before you had like the concept of let's simulate things, complex things like this on the computer, really. Like not fully, but you know what I mean. Like this is someone probably doing math with their protractor and shit to figure shit out, not on a computer. Which makes this very much a work of a certain type of brain, a certain very focused type of brain. Like without judgment, but this is something that not just anyone could have written. Then we have equipment, which is just stuff. They just give you like, it's I think the least amount of equipment I've ever seen for a game. Like a game that does give you stuff. It's just like, yeah, here it's just this and the weight. We don't care about cost. It's just something the other game you play is to worry about. Mm-hmm. Protection factors is if you have armor, it might give you a protection factor. They write stuff later on about like power armor, but it's not really focus. You have weird amounts of pre-generated troop table. Okay, here we see like examples of what stats people have. Mm-hmm. Like so the important thing, we have to go back to knockout value because that one is really like the crux of this whole game. Where did they describe that shit?
Keep going down.
Skill level, encumbrance, skill accuracy, intelligence, combat, knockout value here. Phoenix Command uses a system of shock and physical damage to determine how a character is affected by wounds. A key factor in the system is each character's knockout value. This number is used to determine at which point the character goes into shock from his injuries. The larger the knockout value, the greater the ability to ignore the pain of wounds. The knockout value is 1/2 of the will characteristic times the gun combat skill level. So if you know how to shoot a gun, you also know how to get shot in this game.
Yep.
Super weird. Super duper weird. Also like leads to like we can see it here, like an elite with 7 skill level has a knockout value of 56 because we do 7 times something times will. This guy is probably around 8 half will, so 16 will, dude. Times that's a lot. And then they also obviously get better at shooting as they learn how to shoot. Mm-hmm. But everything keys off of this shooting skill, this one skill.
Mm-hmm. And they show the difference in like line crack elite with armor and without armor.
Yeah.
Right there. Like combat actions, they shoot down, but you're armored now.
Yeah.
Because everything's based on encumbrance.
Yep.
With combat actions.
Yep, exactly. This is why we have them twice. But they get PF, which is protection factor, I think. And then they tell you about movement and stuff. And then about fire. And here we get really to like let's go through this. There's several factors which affect the accuracy of a shot. The skill of the shooter, the basic accuracy of the gun itself, the amount of effort spent aiming, and the range are obviously all very important. Each is considered when determining the chance of hitting a target. The shooter's skill is represented by SAL. The range is determined by counting the number of hexes or inches between the shooter and the target. A weapon's inherent accuracy and the amount of time spent aiming are covered by the aim time mods from the weapon data tables. A shot using one action is the quickest and is usually called a snapshot. A shot using the maximum number of actions shown in the aim time mods column is the most accurate possible for that weapon. Note that the act of firing is included in the aim time. A snapshot uses one action for aiming and firing and does not require one action for aiming and another to pull the trigger. Okay, cool. The factors are all included in the odds of hitting table in 2. The left column is labeled shot accuracy. This is equal to the aim time modifier of the weapon. I give up. I give up at this point. We're going to look at that table now. We're going to try and find it. This is getting hit already. So here. So we have hexes. We have the shot accuracy. And then we roll a D100.
Oh, my brain.
You used to do this every time.
Yeah, every single time.
And then we have like the modifiers that might go into it too. It might actually, if he is kneeling, he gets a bonus. If the target is moving, ducking, or appearing. What do you mean appearing? I guess in that turn? Question mark? I don't know.
Yeah, appearing like, oh no, they just suddenly appeared.
Yeah,
that's what it's supposed to simulate.
Like it's also weirdly there because what target size? Oh, because we're shooting humans, so this is all human target size. So, but wait, sending exposed? Yeah, okay. So we get a bonus of. That's weird. The game assumes everyone is in cover. That's interesting. I guess it makes sense. I guess it makes sense because we're like simulating a war.
Yeah, it's very this is war, kid mentality with this. This is not the game that you play to, I don't know, simulate your action cop fantasies, but more your hide behind something and shoot somebody cop fantasies.
Yeah. And then again, like we do the math. Let's say we have accuracy 10 at 10 hexes, which is a 90% chance to hit. So we roll our D100. And if we get an 89 or below, we hit. Yay. Isn't that nice? I will grant them this table is usable. Like you have to do the measuring every time. The accuracy you know of your gun, and then you just cross-reference. This is not that hard on its own. Since this is used for all combat resolutions, like it's not great. I don't like that you must use the table. But I can live with it. I can also live with that there's the stuff that has no chance of hitting or missing, respectively. This is clunky, but I'd say if it was your big mechanic, the only big mechanic, then I would not say it's impossible to play this. This is already better than Rollmaster. Because Rollmaster had to put this fucking table into every single weapon, because every single weapon has its own A4 page of rules for what roll of a D100 versus what armor class you and defense value you would hit or not hit, and what are the chances and what damage does it do. It's really shitty in Rollmaster. This is dumb as it sounds. For purely hitting better, however, Rollmaster puts the damage in that table as well. We're getting to damage soon, and that's where we're really gonna fall apart.
Oh yeah, fall apart really hard then.
You saw encumbrance shit, which is like your strength, encumbrance, base speed, blah blah blah. Like, it is again. This is something you could have just put next to it. It's not great, but you could reference like your line. Oh, my edgy is 19, my base speed is 4, so I have 11, whatever that means. I think this is actions. No, it's speed. It's speed.
That's max speed. Yeah, because you have base speed and max speed. Because everybody loves having that in their fucking game.
Mm-hmm. You know, you shift into second gear as a human sometimes.
You do. Yeah.
And let's go back. What the fuck? There was a Bram Stoker's Dracula based. Really?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Like, I googled this again, and wow, there's so many random books for this. Like, we'd be here all day talking about it. There's just so many things.
Yeah. This has a weird following to this day. And again, for a computer system, like making code, I can even understand it because it's not It's complex, but it's not like the worst complexity ever invented. Then you have the explains modifiers, ducking, automatic fire. Okay, so events are actually available to all combatants whenever they are fired upon, so you can always duck. Importantly, this game does not have a rule for like evading a shot. You're at the mercy of God as you get shot, which is yeah, we have a realistic system here, so I didn't expect it. But
yeah, they go the MythBusters route of what was that episode? They were saying, "Can you actually dodge a bullet?"
Yeah,
and they proved very much you certainly cannot.
Yeah,
so.
And like, yeah, you wanted realism, so that's what you get with this.
Yep.
Obviously, in a system which aims to realistically portray gunfire, in which like we know how deadly gunfire is. It's not great that the player character basically just gonna get shot and die all the time. Like, it is hyper deadly, and that is not conducive to a role-playing game. I'm sorry to say.
Nope.
Not at all. Not in any way. And especially because automatic fire rules exist, where then several bullets will hit the same person in different places and kill them even harder. There's some stuff about sizes, but mostly we are shooting people. And then we determine hit locations. Whenever a target is hit, the hit location damage table 3A is used. Let's try to make sense of it without text. Hit location roll. So firing around cover in open. Okay, cool. This makes sense. We have we roll a D100, as we see here, and depending which parts of a person are exposed, we hit those parts. And then we see, okay, let's actually just roll D100 for fun on the exposed table. Oh, I rolled a 90. So we are hitting a shin foot. That's too many chances to hit a foot. What?
That's a ridiculously high chance to hit a shin or a foot.
Okay, so we have indicates a disabling, and we get a disabling injury on the foot, over penetration, physical weapons. And now I don't know what this is.
Yeah, this is where my brain really just went with.
Yeah. But as we see, like, we can't die from a foot shot, which makes sense. Like, how would we do that? We might now bleed out or something later, but we will not die immediately of a foot shot. However, I find stuff very funny, like, for example, let's say we rolled a 24 and had been hit in the base of neck. 300 damage, which is a nice amount. Like, heart is 4,000 and eye nose is 3,000, which is all not great. Critical wound, a bunch of extra damage if you have this stuff. I think over penetration is if the bullet goes through you. Maybe. We are gonna look at the rules in a second, but you can like low velocity damage over penetration. Oh, you see, yeah, because I think what? Okay, it depends on the weapon basically. But this cleansing roll 0 to 9 mean, and what does it mean that it's only here and there's nothing? And then we have this, and then we have this.
This is very engineer brain once again, because this is like
I get it. So the weapon has a penetration factor, and if it's low, like 1 is low, then a glancing roll is struck on this. But if we roll a 9, then it's this. And then if we roll on a penetration factor 2, on a 6 to 9 it's this table. On a 3 to 9 it's this table. On a 3 and on a 4, 0 to 2 is this, and 3 to 9 is an over penetration. I think.
So over penetration only applies if you have a weapon penetration of 4.
Yeah, which I think is most like rifles, I would assume.
Yeah, it's pretty much rifles in this game.
Okay, this is guesswork though, right? I deliberately didn't understand this. Like I'm going to tell you right now, folks, this is not something I want to understand. However, We must now find it and do it again. Wait, this is advanced rules. No, I don't want those. Blah 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 blah. Here, automatic fire. Okay, target position. Here, 2 columns with target position labeled firing on cover and open. Yeah. Hit location. We roll that. You're correct. Penetrating fire. Once the hit location has been determined, the question is whether the shot has penetrated the target's armor. Some shots will strike cleanly, while others partially or completely glance off. See glancing roll. So it obviously have a major effect on damage done. Yeah, I guess. The relative protection afforded by armor is accounted for by using the 4 weapon penetration lines at the top of hit location table. To determine which line should be used for a given shot, the weapon's penetration is compared to armor's protection. The penetration line summary 3b. The time blah 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 blah. Example: Trent is firing an M16 rifle using FMJ ammo. Okay, this penetration is therefore 17. Okay, cool. I didn't know that, but I guess sure. The target is wearing medium rigid body armor, which is a PF of 16. When Trent's shot hits the target's shoulder, we check the penetration line summary. Shots with penetration of 17 to 22 use weapon penetration line 1. If Trent's penetration is word 23, the shot would use line 2. If the targets were wearing light flexible body armor, on the other hand, with PF of 4, the penetration of 17 would use line 4.
Oh my god. Just...
So
oh my god.
The system was described to us as simple.
Like, I'll be real, this would be really fucking amazing for like a video game or like, I don't know, World of Tanks calculating penetration of tank armor. That'd be perfect for that.
Yeah.
But for a tabletop game, no, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, this is at this point, like, for most people, this is entirely unplayable.
Yeah, already, yep.
And this is basically what we are left with as we continue looking and staring at this whole book, is that especially for the year it came out in, this is just completely unplayable. Even like wargame heads, who were at the time one of the bigger clientele for these games, would have trouble with this. Like, you would need a calculator by your side, and it is not quick because you have to do this separate calculation for every fucking bullet that you shoot.
Yeah. Like, what if I'm using an M16 and I'm firing full auto and the first shot is a tracer round so that my other shots could be possibly more accurate and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
There's just so much to calculate then.
Yeah. What they do have is, if a shot glances, it doesn't really do much. Like, you take a bit, like maybe a superficial wound, but blah, and then you resolve damage. Like, we are now in the weeds because we just saw like the damage difference of 22,000. So, for example, a low velocity damage hit to the thigh flesh areas does 3 points of PD physical damage. This is the, like, you could just write damage at all times. This is the general category of superficial wounds, and while somewhat painful, it is not an incapacitating wound to any but the most frail of people, and is a little threat to one's health. I would say getting shot in the thigh is not great, and I would call it a threat to my health. But whatever, my dude. I guess you are more hardcore than me. A low velocity round wound to the thigh bone, however, does 16 PD disabling injury, while one to the heart does 4,000 PD critical wound. The significance of PD is discussed in the next section. So, okay, so we clearly can take like shit damage, or we can take all of the damage. What is the here? Disabling injuries. There are 2 immediate side effects possible from a wound received in combat. It is possible the victim will fall unconscious, slip into shock, or otherwise be unable to continue fighting. He might also be able to continue, but find that his abilities have been limited due to his injuries. Being incapacitated in this first issue, each impulse in which a combatant takes one or more wounds, there's a chance that he will be unable to continue this battle. The following knockout table. Blah, blah, blah. Compare the total amount of physical damage you take when has received to his knockout value. Okay. So our knockout value is like in the 50s if we are cool, dude. Remember that. Discuss in the section, blah. Select the appropriate line from the table and read across. Okay, we have to look at tables again. Which table? Step 8? Section 1-3, step 8? What? No, wait. Select from a received knocker. Where's the table? Oh, here. This is the table.
That's what I'm guessing.
So if I have 50, if I take 5 or less, I'm fine. So a shot in my thigh doesn't even slow me down. Over a 10th, so over 5, but less than 10. No, wait, over 1/10 of kV. What? So over 5. In this case.
If you have 50 and if it's
I roll a D100 and a 10% chance to get knocked out from like whatever does 5 damage, I don't know. And if it's over the 50, I do this. If it's over 2 times, I do this. And if it's over 3 times, I do this. So a shot to the heart has only have a 1 in 50 chance of just not falling unconscious from that. That's interesting.
Yep.
Okay. Regaining consciousness, the ritual wound has been marked. Soon you can recover from the shock, regain consciousness, blah, blah, blah. Everything Jews are indicated in the tables. The Phoenix Command system is somewhat different from most games, and naturally the tactics used in the game are also different. For this reason, a few very simple pieces of tactical advice are included below. Players make of these what they will, based on playtesting. These points are sensible advice. They are not, however, rules of any sort and talent. Unusual situations or luck may render any of them invalid in certain circumstances. Most important advice sounds obvious, but it's very wise. Try not to get shot. Okay, fuck you, book. I'm not reading the rest of your advice now.
Oh my god.
Like, what the heck is even... How full of yourself are you? Yeah, you just told me how easy it is to die. Of course I want to get shot. And then you have medical recovery tables where you think, so... damaged during combat, blah. So I think it tells you here, healing time. Blah, blah. TLDR, it takes forever.
Yep.
I don't care. Recent wounds character makes knockout roll, character fails knockout roll. Like, it's weird in many places. Explosive concussions.
Weird.
Then we have advanced rules, which are like blah, even more like tables and math, which I will not get into. And then we see stuff like, oh, I want to autofire. Here's autofire rules. Like, you target a bunch of hexes and then you shoot bullets into them each. If your gun shoots 8 bullets, each hex gets 2. If you shoot 2 hexes, it gets 1. Gets 4. And if you shoot 1 hex, just unloading on a guy, it can hit them 8 times potentially, which is probably going to kill him. Arc of fire for long range shots. No one cares, guys. No one cares. And so on. Like, this system, I will give it, and I will give it readily. It is trying and not failing to be realistic in terms of modern infantry combat, which fucking sucks for the people involved in it. And you're probably gonna eat a bullet and die. Then it tells you need like tactics and aids, delegation of work. There are several ways to make the game play more quickly. The referee can delegate such things as hit location and damage to an experienced player.
Oh my god.
And each player can figure out his own odds of hitting, knockouts, and disabling injuries. Gameplay is then a sequence of the referee calling a new phase, all players moving and determining odds of hitting, the player with the damage table resolving PD for all shots hitting, and each player resolving knockouts and disabling injuries. Yeah, true.
Yeah, that sounds like a great math assignment. Thanks.
Yeah, I really want to play this in class now. Thanks.
Yeah, this is going to be your entire, I don't know, statistics homework right
Yeah.
here. What's the chance of hitting Oppenheimer at a 1,000 yards?
Bridget Oppenheimer. Here we see a sample, like, I don't know what map. Like, on the charity, we call this a map. And like how there's mans, rocks, trees, and bushes. And the mans all have a cone which they can fire in because they are like aiming. And they have the bridge under like lockdown from like all of the sides. I would say this guy isn't really trying to get there though. He's basically trying to hit this man.
I think he's very suspicious of his friend next to him too.
Yeah. So he has a solid snake and sneak by them. Yeah, listen, what you do first is to take, you come from here, you take him out because like he has everybody else in view, and you probably he won't be able to see you at that range because you have the cover here. There's 2 rocks. You take him out, like prop him up as if he's still aiming. Sneak all the way down here, get this guy, and then you just alternate. Like they don't see each other anymore. That's how you do it. Like 1, 2, and then it's like your pick, which for you 3 or 4 you take next, and then 5 or 6. Probably him first because he sees him. Like, okay, play the gun game by avoiding all math and just going full pacifist stealth mode. Yeah, but there's no stealth. There's no stealth stat, Waggles. We cannot stealth.
Yep, you're not able to stealth in this game. There is no stealth stat.
Which, to point it out now that someone said it, that's so terrible. Like it's such a big part of infantry combat to be stealthy in the moment, to not peek out, like to peek out of a different cover each time, to like move to somewhere where they don't expect you to get the drop on them, even though it's a combat, you can still do that. Like, but there isn't any rules for that in this. There is just not.
Yeah, you can't do your enemy at the gates roleplay in this. You just can't. You can't do sniper versus sniper, which, you know, I've been able to reasonably simulate in a number of games, and it can be a lot of fun. This game, though, no, there's no perception tests either. So,
the AKM-47 has no stats, which I find interesting. I think this is just a print error.
Yeah, it's just print.
Whatever. Why are these here? The stats are at the back. Anyway, like, oh, these are guys. These are enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so these are our guys, these are enemy guys, maybe, who knows? Fighting the Ruskies. All my work is guaranteed for life. Or you get your money back, Dr. Oscar Snyderbank. The fuck is even
good old Snyderbank.
Yeah.
Good old Snyderbank.
What is this? Police raid? Is this a police station?
This is like
looks
either
terrible.
they're simulating a police raid on a house, and this is like your test ground, or it's you're supposed to actually be doing that on like a shop or something, I guess.
Yeah. So we lots of, and you get some victory points, which I really wanted for my role-playing game. Victory points. And then you can buy weapons, but you have to pay victory points or something. I don't know. At this point, I'm just so done.
This game was intended for tournament play. Like, again, this came out the same year as a number of other things like Mech Warrior and Warhammer Fantasy. So
yeah. Then we have hearing. Actually, there's sound detection rules, which are like the decibels of whatever guns were being shot, minus the surrounding noise of other things. And there's like 3 pages of this shit.
There's
no one's going to do that. No one.
Nobody.
Especially because this is actually like, they made some good tables, but this is dumb. Because, okay, I shoot my small caliber, 102, and then I have to go through everything and make sure I don't miss a single one of these modifiers?
Yep. Like,
cocking,
you get a metal soul?
Cocking a revolver is 1 less loud than a bolt-action rifle. I don't know what the bolt-action rifle, but it's just one less loud than a bolt-action rifle. Like, what do you mean? Weapon action.
Weapon action means working the action that's on the weapon,
Oh,
not actually firing it. So the
actually,
action on a bolt action rifle, the action on a shotgun, etc.
I actually didn't have enough gun brain. Thank you.
It's okay.
And then moist earth makes things louder, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
So vegetation has a dampening effect as compared to moist earth because the shockwave of water in the moist earth is louder than if you just hit grass. Yeah. I know. Like, I have plenty of gun brain for the both of us. It's okay.
I do not. Like, and then you do the minuses, which is like, oh, it's outdoor crickets, minus 35. Like, there's crickets. You don't hear the shot. The crickets.
Yeah, and a lot of these are more just like interference. Yeah, there's background noise. Yeah, but some of these are like, what? Like, okay, so the jet aircraft part, yeah, but there's a difference between if the jet aircraft is on or off.
No.
There should be, is what I'm trying to say.
Book says no, Drake. I'm sorry.
There is no difference according to this book.
Also, what do you mean jet aircraft? Oh yeah, we never got to airplanes. I would have been very curious.
We're gonna fight in a plane like in Counter-Strike or something.
And then there is ever more stuff in here with whatever the fuck, and I can't anymore. Like, this is just, yeah, okay.
Yeah, like when your game has like differences between single and double action weapons as like part of your core rules, you're done. That's too much gun brain. Too much.
And again, like, if we look now with our increased knowledge, we look at it, so we know the weapon penetration line, but it is not in this table. So what table is the weapon penetration line? Which we need here. Okay, PF versus line. No, that makes no sense. What? Oh, wait. 200 versus 201 is line 1. But 200 versus 442 is line 4. Ah, okay. This is not great, but okay.
Yeah, it's not great, but this is actually the sort of thing that if they're going to do fiddly math with it, yeah, you need to put that in the table.
Yeah.
And this was a good example of when you should be.
Yeah. And then, like, you have yet more tables. Range is just a straight decrease to your accuracy, which is because this is just you seeing a guy and aiming, and he's very small because he's far away. This is not the weapon being inaccurate yet. That's its own thing.
Yep.
And you can move movement modifiers, which what is happening? I have a speed. They have a target range in 2-yard hexes. So if I have a speed of 120 and they are what? Why is it easier to hit someone if I'm fast?
Okay, so I will explain this to you.
Oh, is this a bullet speed? No.
Okay. If somebody is moving much faster, but they are really far away, visually they're not moving that far for you. So you're able to adjust to it more easily.
Oh my god, that's
moving right next to you.
No, I don't need rules for that. Oh my god.
Yep, they put in rules for that. Yep.
And then we see rate of fire tables, and we see weapon damage classes.
Or you have your E-peen, yes.
This is for a different thing, though, isn't it? Like
yes, this is effective penetration.
Yeah. Stuff will do millions of damage sometimes to you. I can't wait. Where's the million?
I see lots of K's.
Here's M's. X is 100,000. I see X. I've seen an X.
I'm trying to find an M. It's an M.
I don't think there's an M.
100.
Isn't there an X? FTs, Ks. There isn't even an X. I thought there was an X somewhere.
Yeah, there's an X under heart to the far right. 1X, 1X, 1X.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We never get to the million damage. It doesn't even matter at that point. The damage only matters for knockout and for healing. Like, if you take 100,000 damage to the heart, I don't think you're gonna heal.
No.
It's just dumb. It's dumb. Disabling injuries. The standard proportion of theory. I can't even read it. Oh.
We might have millions down here. Okay.
Yeah, we might have. What is this? Why is it the same? This is 6A. And this is 6A. What?
Fuck?
It's just, is it the same table? No.
No. You see the DCs there?
Yeah.
DC 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
DC 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So this is the extended. Oh my god.
Oh, it's 2
This thing was
pages
so big.
long. Here's the millions. The heart is in the millions now.
Yeah.
Okay,
There
here
we
we go.
5 million damage to the heart. Nothing I can say. A total obliteration of the heart.
Where's the brain? Forehead. Brain also gets a million damage, or 2.
Eye nose is 2 million, yeah.
Yeah, we really needed to know that it's millions and billions of damages. And then we have action times.
Wait. Go back up slightly.
Yeah.
No, back up. Base movement cost. Look at that. Forward, backwards, oblique, sideways. Oh my god. Just okay. When I said GURPS was really bad, this is worse than that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Like this game, it costs more to move to the side than it does to move. What? Game, why? I can't see when I'm going backward. Oh my god. Just no. Just no. Just no. Why?
I'm very unsure how realistic that is, but okay, whatever.
Yeah, this, like, I'm thinking, oh, this is more realism. I'm like, wait. From what position and how and what? How
do they mean like running at a 90? Like, I would just twist my torso, right? I would. Like, you can run and look to the side. It's not super great, but it's very quicker than running backwards. And oblique means like at a 45-degree angle, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 45-degree angle. But like, they should make a difference between 45-degree forward or backward then. What are you doing to me, game?
By the way, aluminum has 470 if it's 4. Interesting.
Oh my god.
Does it like question?
Okay. What the fuck?
So what? It must be applied first, right? And how do I apply it? Because if the cover gets hit, does it stop every bullet except if it hits the heart or brain? Because then 5,600 is nothing?
That's what I'm guessing, yeah.
Also, why is concrete... Okay, I guess it can't be thicker, but... Why is aluminum... We can have thicker aluminum. I can make a block that's thicker than 4 inches.
Very easily, actually. Yeah, because I just Googled this and there's like 20 videos of testing bulletproof glass versus aluminum. But the real thing there with aluminum is just like, this guy is such a galaxy brain engineer, but he doesn't sit down and go, here are the different types of bulletproof glass, because there are multiple types of it too.
Yeah.
Like, this is cleared for stopping rifle of this caliber and so on. But he didn't do that. He just generically said bulletproof glass. So I'm just like, if you're going to be this obsessive and have steel armor plate versus titanium armor plate, why didn't you go all the way with that too? And also, why is the steel armor plate able to withstand more than the titanium armor plate?
Oh, that's actually...
Usually it's the other way around.
Actually realistic purely for material things, because steel is cool. Steel is really cool. Titanium is harder than steel, but withstands stuff not worse actually, because it will break before steel does. Because steel deforms a lot more.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because steel's got that wibble wobble.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like, I love that Earth handpacked and Earth hard grounded. Who cares at that point?
oh my god! Like, see, like that's what I'm talking about. It's just like, why did you make the distinction? But you didn't say bulletproof glass this type.
Also, I don't think rock and concrete are that different. Rock isn't twice as good as concrete.
No, it isn't.
Anyway, I'm slowly going insane. Here's a character sheet for your convenience. Here's another one. I don't know why we have to. And here's guns now. Here's where the real fun begins.
Lots of guns.
Let's just look at one of, like, this is old engineer brain to a T. Where it's like, really here's your FN MK1 automatic pistol, 9mm parabellum chambered Browning high power pistol manufactured and sold worldwide. It has an L of 8, which is length in inches, the weight of 2.3 in pounds. It's a rate of fire of 4. Its rough is stab, so it's an automatic gun. So we auto chambers itself, which, yes, 13 bullets. AW, I forget. Oh, 50 caliber mag? No, it makes no sense. Its KD is 3. And its SAB is 4. I've already forgotten what those are.
Knockdown and something else.
And then you have aim values. You can aim for a maximum of 6 actions, and then you will have a -7. Because it's just a pistol. It can't be that accurate. And then you get like penetration at what range. And as we see at long range, pistols just aren't very good, which is realistic. But then also like...
There's other little problems with this too. He's so engineer brain that he's calling it an automatic pistol when the correct term is an auto loader pistol because it's a semi-automatic weapon. It fires one bullet every time you pull the trigger. There are other things like this that are like huge glaring errors throughout this that are a product of engineer brain and not like I love guns first brain.
Yeah.
It's just it drives me crazy because these are not automatic pistols.
Yeah. What this person should have done? I didn't, by the way, know that Type 51 shot 7.62 ammo. That's crazy.
Yeah, they do.
The Chinese are hardcore. Like, I don't believe, like, the thing is with the 9mm parabellum versus the 9mm parabellum in these two guns, for example, is that I think it's the same fucking table. Because of course it is. It's the same fucking round, and it's not, and the only meaningful difference is this fucking aim thing. And I don't believe you, author of this book, that the MAB PA-15 is just one worse to aim than the FN MK1.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
Snapshot. Why? Because it's 0.5 kilos heavier. And then it's just the same after? Like, who cares? 9mm pistol, here. Give me one stat line. Even that's probably too much, but what the fuck? Here's another 9mm. It's the same. No, wait, it's not. For some reason, the penetration is lower. Why? Is it because the Luger, the Walter, has less chamber velocity? Muzzle velocity, not chamber.
It does, but it's very small. Like, the difference is so negligible that they should all use the same table.
Yeah.
Like, I'm right there with you. Like, somebody knows something about this. Yeah, it should be the same.
So all of their stats are just useless. And then we have the HK PM13, which is the same as the Luger, Walter, sorry. And this is the Luger, right? Who cares? Fucking hell. And then we have more 9mm, which are all the same stats. But the American guns are just a little bit better. So stupid. Yeah. I mean, the American used ones.
Because, like, God, there's just so many gun manufacturers to mention.
Like the Makarov. What do you mean? What do you mean? It's 9x18. It's the same one. Is Parabellum bigger?
Parabellum's a different round.
Okay. But it's way worse. Like, it's a shitty pistol. It's way worse. Like, the Ruskies not have good guns? I guess not.
Well, the big difference between the Parabellum and the is also known as the 9mm NATO. It's 19 millimeters long versus the 9x18 is 18 millimeters long.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the only difference. So it's just like, again, I don't care how obsessed with guns somebody might be playing this. It doesn't fucking matter.
I don't believe them that 1 millimeter of length of bullet halves your penetration.
No, it doesn't, because the Makarov usually is just as good as the British gun up there that I suddenly forgot the name of.
Like here, 2.9 versus 1.7. There's no way.
No, there's no way. There's a reason why it was a standard pistol of the Soviet military for so long, because it had okay penetration. It didn't have a shitty penetration. Come on. And then the 1911 still gets used today by everybody, and the penetration on that is,
also bad.
For some reason
I mean, 45 ACP might be worse than 9mm. I have no idea. Apparently, the author thinks so. And now we get to other here's more guns if you ever wanted them. Some you might recognize. And
it's because the default for 45 ACP is hollow point. God damn it.
Oh yeah. And here's all your guns you ever wanted. Before their stats, and they're all very fucking similar and no one cares. Like AK-47 X39 and 39.5, but it's a 445, so it's longer. It's the slightly smaller bullet, I guess. Or maybe but it has better penetration because it's faster. Maybe I don't know. But here's all your guns, though. And here's all your grenades because we had rules for those as well.
Oh my god! And they have drawings for each individual one.
Grenades, by the way, can create potentially hundreds or thousands of shrapnel in this game. That might all individually hit you and do damage to you.
It makes Shadowrun's Chunky Salsa look gentle by comparison.
Yeah. We glossed over that. So, yeah. Someone sure made Phoenix Command, and it sure is a game. We are now going to look at a random one. I'm going to look at the expansion because that feels like the funny choice. Oh, look, a shark and I like this T-Rex. He looks like he's having fun. They didn't. Do cats run like that? I don't know.
I don't know. You're a cat. You tell us.
But they're all running. And I run on 2 legs though. And then we have where is it? 200 zoom. What the fuck?
This book likes to default to 200 zoom.
So this is one of the expansions, which is only like 20 pages, and then there's a bunch of animals. So it gives you some rules, blah blah blah. This is an example, picked at random. Role-playing rules. Cool.
And then none of it has to do with role-play.
Here's some medical skill. Advanced simulator, really. Oh god, look at this text. Look at this giant block of rule. Like this is. Oh my god. Oh, this is not scanned. I can highlight things. This is like. You could like powder this, and then the rules lawyer could snort it and would sustain them for days. Like, this is so badly laid out. Example: Axel fires a burst of fire at the head of a target firing over a wall. His ALM sum is 15 and his minimum ACMA is 1. Using table 14A, the shot's maximum ALM sum is 13. The smaller than Axel's ALM sum, so the burst effective ALM is 13. The effective ALM sum of 13 gives an auto max TS ALM value of 11. This auto TS ALM is compared to the exposed target auto LF TS ALM, and the lesser of the two is added to the effective ALM sum to determine the EAL. In this case, the EAL is 13. Effective ALM sum plus 2 exposed target auto ELV TS ALM 15. Axel rolls to hit normally and hits. His hit location is taken from the table 6A using the opened column. Using the opened column within the range 0, 71 and 76 to 78 from table 14A. From the head to the thigh. Since the target is firing over cover, only hit locations from 0 to 17 apply. I hope every question is answered.
42. 42.
Look, it's just terrible. You have to read all of this. The example is so bad. And then there's some more rules.
The example just raised 50 more questions.
No, I have already forgotten everything I just read out, so no, it has not. I refuse. But then,
well, all 50 of the questions are why?
Yeah. And then we have some animal data table.
Oh no!
Oh, it's armor. I thought it was male. I guess
It's so of it now. They found this animal data. Yes, untreated leather animals.
Yeah. A giant cat wearing a police helmet has an LT of BPF2.
Sorry, cat wearing your police helmet. Oh my god! I didn't know Samurai Pizza Cats was one of the games you could play with this.
This is such engineer brain. Look at this. Look at this page.
This text is making me go.
Like, this is unreadable to me. Like, this would literally just say blah 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 with random numbers and they would be the same. Like, it's terrible. Is this all one example? It's an example.
Yeah, it starts with the previous page.
It takes the whole page. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Oh my god. I also like the examples of playing here with the impulses. My brain is melting because, like, on the first impulse, it uses one AC or one action to turn to face the dog and another to take aim. What?
I like on the second impulse, uses a single AC to aim and fire but misses. Like, please don't gloss over how that works. This is a math text, but yes, it is. Oh my god, did you know me how fast you are going? Thank you, guys. Thank you, 764. Oh my god. Like, wait. On third impulse, the dog leaps at the robber. The leap of the dog's only action on the impulse. Place on the third master facing counter impulse. PCCSH. This puts him on the robber. Next action to take place, the dog's attack. The jump is separate. Oh god. The first step is when the dog rams the robber. The dog's ram has a success rate of 10 plus 4, large dog skill level minus 2, robber skill level 12. Dog rolls a 9 and hits on a D100 or on what am I rolling here?
I don't know.
I guess we could have read the rules to know, but I don't wanna. At this point, the dog's attempt to bite the robber is considered blah blah blue. So I don't. This is a whole combat at least. I thought it was one thing, but still. Oh look, ALM sum, basic aim point table. What the fuck am I looking at? This is no longer good tables. This is bad now.
Oh fuck!
Like, if my ALM sum is 25. And my EAL is 16 and I had aim point. Oh, this is if I aim on the noggin. Oh god.
Oh no.
So my location range is only this, and if I roll more, what happens? Who knows? I don't care. Like, this is just in case you didn't have enough tables. Here is some more tables for you. For your consideration. Also, somewhere in this are 50 animals. I haven't seen them.
No, where are the 50 animals? Where are the 50 animals?
Let's go back up. Maybe we scrolled past them.
No, we scrolled past 50 animals.
Animal data table. 40. It's one page. Okay. Okay, page 11, 12, 13 animal rules. The animal data table 15A. Great, thank you. 14B, 14C. 50. Oh, here they are. We found them. What can we fight? What is the dumbest animal we can find? Baboon, gorilla, alligator, water buffalo, rhino, elephant. That's all fair. Rat or rodent, mule or deer, boar, elk, bull, black bear, grizzly bear, polar bear, Kodiak bear, falcon eagle, small dog, medium dog, large dog, extra large dog, coyote, hyena, wolf, timber wolf, bobcat, cheetah, puma, lion, tiger, donkey again. Wait, what? Oh, mule deer. Mule deer.
Mule deer.
But
Okay.
mule is here. Or is a mule deer a specific deer?
Yeah, mule deer or something else.
Okay. Thoroughbred, quarter horse, war horse, dolphin, mako shark, hammerhead, tiger shark, great white, killer whale, the different sizes.
Yeah.
King great whites goes with. It's orcas. It's not. We're not fighting. Allosaurus, Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops, Apatosaurus, and Dionicle.
I didn't know Bionicles were in this.
Yeah, and
cool.
then we have the same. Oh, then this is the data table. This is their stats. And this is their melee stats.
Yeah, melee data.
Let's see, a rat. Cass has a bite ID of 3, a bite factor of 0.2, max BD of 0.4. It's not very good.
No.
Baboon is a 0.8? Are you crazy? Baboons can annihilate you if they bite you. They're super dangerous.
Yeah.
I guess the bear is 1.4, but the rat is 0.2. Like, it's not 4 rats don't make a baboon? What the fuck?
So, since I'm a nerd about this shit, baboons, their bite force is 500 to 550 psi.
Yeah.
To contrast, a human bite is about 162 psi.
Yeah.
So they've got a bite that's like triple to 4 times ours. So yeah, a baboon will fucking kill you.
Yep.
With their bite. And putting it as 0.8, okay, you engineer man, you obviously did not go and study baboons closely enough.
4 rats equal baboon. Yes, assume that 4 rats equal baboon. How long does it take the train to arrive at the station?
Should you pull the switch?
Yeah, but it's going uphill, so take that into account.
Okay.
Also, it left an hour ago. So dumb. Okay, so we have 20 more of these. I'm gonna be brave and open the heavy tank book, and then we're gonna cry probably. Vehicle status sheets, rules for the tank's vehicle description. It's super short. What the fuck? Okay, where's the tables? Here they are. Here's the tables. I'm happy now.
No. See, like, I wasn't joking about the World of Tanks thing. Like, this is perfect if this was World of Tanks.
Also, it's very telling that this guy starts with the tiger. You know exactly the brain.
Yeah, you know exactly the brain.
That's the tiger too.
Yeah, it starts with 2 tigers.
KV-1A, heavy tank.
Yeah.
Like, I really wanted to shoot tank at tank, so I made tank to put in my tank. It's just tables at this point.
No, it's tables.
And we would have to read the mechanized playing aid, I guess, to know what this all means, but I don't want to know.
No, I really don't. Like...
Oh, wait, sorry.
I'd rather play Rifts now, you know?
Mechanized combat system. Let's go. I don't actually want to read it, but here's the rules. Let's see how many rules we can make it. Table of contents. 6. Oh, this is as many rules as the base game.
Of course, yeah. Oh, wow, they even have morale rules. Nice.
And artillery rules. And it's just a whole bunch of bullshit. They do the zone thing, which is fair enough. It's kind of MacWarrior-y. A realistic scenario. Also, all their turret facing is 0, guys. They are all facing the target directly. What?
What the fuck?
Oh, 0 degree that's our turret we're looking at. Facing. So you have to do the turret separate because it's aiming in this quadrant. This is the back. Yeah, this is too complicated, guys. No, fuck you.
No, just no. And like most people who do this, they're just like, no, we've got to do the degrees thing and yada yada.
Oh, we have already. Holy crap! This is many pages of tanks. Then just realized this is so we have like 44 pages of rules.
And then like each tank is like 4 pages after that.
German Leopard. This is a modern one even. Holy crap! Wow, and then German Leopard 2. Merkava tank. Yes, of course.
Oh no.
T62 and T62M. And T64A, blah, 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 blah. This is now, we are firmly in like Rollmaster table shit.
I feel like this is worse. Like,
no, yeah, this is worse, but also I don't understand it, so it might be better. Like, this is, like, at the start I said, okay, this hit table, this is okay. This is like, especially for the time, you used to have that for D&D. You used to have a THACO table for that only the DM was allowed to look at, where so what is happening? Oh, you disabled it. We misclicked. Okay, so I just enabled subscribers only for a second. I was like, what? Did I miss something? No. Oh, we are looking at those. Don't worry, son. We are about done with this shit, because the last one I want to look into from their basic offerings is the mental damage system. This is written by some Corporal Pharaoh and Private Castro. This is just like some guy, some dude, at some point just made a PDF about mental damage.
Oh like, no!
Look at that. This is what I like. This blew my mind. This is literally some military man probably have to learn the system because it's realistic, like, and they're forced to understand it. And then they were like, "It doesn't have mental damage, so here's rules for mental damage."
That long table, what was that for? Major life change event table. Oh no!
Wait,
oh no! I'm guessing SP is sanity points or something.
We're gonna find out.
Or stress points, probably.
We're gonna find out, Drake.
What the hell?
Wait. Oh, this is amount of time passed.
It takes 900 years if you take 10,000 mental damage. Yeah.
It's very important. The Ubermensch has 15 physical fitness and the Pope has 12 moral fitness. What the fuck? No, he does not.
What the fuck? Moral fitness? Oh my god.
The Phoenix Command Nut has 3 moral fitness.
Average Phoenix Command enjoyer.
The bona fide Calvinist or Catholic are just better. Like,
oh my god, the prejudice here.
The Nietzschean, like, you know who wrote this. This is such a, like, okay, I wasn't going to say it, but look at this shit. This is such a conservative brain book. Like,
it is.
It's just
like,
let's just engineer our way into a good system by making it max realistic. Doesn't matter if it's playable in any way, shape, or form.
I love this perspective that the Dutch Calvinists are more depraved than the Catholics.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. What kind of brain were you having when you wrote this? Holy shit.
Also, why is the Nietzschean like moral fitness, but the scientist, an artist has? What are
why
you talking
is a classical
about?
scientist / artist better than Joan of Arc? What the fuck?
Yeah. Like, this is just, so to be clear, this is not written by those original authors who knew what they were doing. This is just some dudes writing a thing because they thought you needed to have like a mental damage system as well, because this is not enough. We have to also have mental damage.
What? I'm just...
but yeah, this is enough of this. But yeah, so Jake.
Yes.
Do you crave more?
Yeah, we need to do the one that like dove into aliens or something.
So I want to look at aliens only briefly because I find their original system way more interesting. But I want to point out that the Aliens RPG comes with the following books: Core Rulebooks, Colonial Marines Technical Manual, and Book of Tables. And we are going to look at all of them because holy crap. Wait, this is both untitled PDF. Did I open the wrong thing? No, okay. Book of Tables is literally that what you think. This is Book of Tables.
What it is.
And you might recognize some of these tables from other game we talked about today. But it has to include a tail hit section because aliens, we're shooting at different things, so you hit them in different places. Good job, game. And then hind leg, foreleg, and shit like that. And oh my god, there's so many tables.
Oh no.
And here's pre-gen characters for you. Here's Apone.
You have to squint
Higgs,
to look at them.
And Drake and Vasquez. Yeah, you do have to squint. I'm already zoomed in.
I'm glad they have Russell Crowe in here.
Yeah. And then we have Marine Officer. Like, okay, I'll grant them you can put a guy into 4 lines of thing. That's not bad, but terrible though.
Oh, good. I'm glad that they kept in mind that the eggs cannot move and thus have no speed and hexes.
Yeah. Yep. And here's some guns from the movie.
Oh, yay.
It's only like 5 guns. And two have no pictures. Because the movie didn't actually have them outfitted with so many different weapons. And if we look at their stats, these are no better and no worse than contemporary guns at all.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, the 10mm pulse rifle has less penetration than a contemporary gun in the list we looked at earlier. What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's a fucking pulse rifle.
That was one thing that the Royal Armory guy commented on, and I can't remember which video it was. I think it was a System Shock video, that too many times in these games, or settings or movies or whatever, they just have guns that are just as effective as what we have today, and then they don't take it a step further, and it drives them bonkers because it's just like, if we have like an alternate propellant means in the future that isn't like gunpowder, maybe we could make it even more better.
Yep.
And then he paused in the video and said, "I just said more better."
Like, it's also the rifle fires a standard armor-piercing round or an explosive-tipped armor-piercing round. So blah 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 blah. Like, it's a 10mm bullet. It's way bigger than a 7.62 or whatever. Like, just on its face. Never mind everything else, and then it gives them worse penetration. But it does have lots of capacity to fire this thing real quick. And this is not 10mm machine gun, I'm sorry, this is a smart gun. This is what the game, what the movie even calls it. Like, it's a fucking smart gun. What are you talking about? Ground exploration vehicle. Ooh, ox tank, sleepaway, cargo way, sleepaway, ox tank, fuel tank, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, you can already tell where this game is really going. But then, okay, they made an Aliens book. It is actually pretty long. I guess you can see 162, and then we have some data tables and so on and so forth.
I'm happy.
Why is it long? Well, because they actually made it a game. Like, if we just go to a character sheet, we have secondary stats, which are like charisma, leadership, and so on. We have more skills than just shooting. Good job, guys. Because they realized you might need like things like climbing, scouting, survival, espionage, infiltration, diplomacy, awareness, balance, hand-to-hand combat and stuff. And then support skills, which are even free pick. Which is, by the way, these are just Grandmaster, Master, Exceptional, Proficient. C is, I guess, whatever the basic knowledge is.
Competent.
Yeah, competent. And N is none. Almost untrained. It's not quite untrained. Whatever it stands for. Whatever. Like, it's cool that they actually gave you some stats. Because I think they learned from the books they made, which didn't sell, by the way, not very well, as far as anyone knows, that just making a game and hope to graft it onto some other game isn't gonna be a winning formula. And then like releasing World War II tanks for it and modern tanks, also not, because who was like, no, like there's no market, and there's also no interest, like even outside of it, if there was a market, like no, it's just dumb. I'm sorry. And yeah, what? So we can actually generate a guy in this. We roll for how many merit points we get. Like if we have a shit education, we don't get merit points, but if we good education, we get some merit points. If we were brought up rich, we get merit points, which is fair enough. It's a fair enough system. I don't think it's very nice, but it's realistic, especially for aliens. And if we have high characteristics, we also get some merit points. And then if our merit points are high enough, we can get into, maybe become an officer. And then here the book commits the cardinal sin of any tie-in book, is to just use movie pictures, like taken straight from the movie.
Yeah.
Like it's not great. This looks like they're just behind the scenes. Sitting down.
Yeah.
This is the briefing scene. I know it's the briefing scene, but you don't. Like, especially this guy looks just roadie on set. I don't know. Whatever. We have some more explanations as to how stuff works in this game. Like every tour of duty year of a 6-year tour of duty gives you some points as you become more experienced. So you can, it's basically your level almost. And then you generate a dude this way. I'm not going to go into it too much because it doesn't matter. But
I do have a fun fact with this, though,
please.
that I do know about. So there are multiple games that have done like this tour of duty thing where like, okay, for each year in the service, you did XYZ and it affects this and yada, yada. However, this was the one that when they were making System Shock 2 that they looked at. In particular, because at the start of the game, that's exactly what you do. You pick what you did in your 3 years of service before you go onto the faster than light ship in System Shock 2. But it was Phoenix Command that inspired that specifically, not other games.
Yeah. And Sander, as you point out, yes, they use all of the movie quotes. Like every page is a movie quote. Literally every page is a movie quote or two. Why? Well, because Aliens was a huge blockbuster hit. And a guy who is like this, who really loves, who is going to be a rocket scientist, or maybe already is one and just does this in his spare time, we don't even really know, who loves guns, loves shooting and loves fighting, and loves writing about it and like obsessively thinking about it, because you do not arrive at a system like this without that. You don't set out one day with no prior obsessive behavior to write the system. No, this shit is in your brain already and you just had to make it like math. That's the kind of person we are dealing with. They would really love Alien and they would read Aliens, the movie, because it's like, also they're conservative, and it's also very important. I'm so sure that this person is super conservative. Like the Aliens movie is a really cool movie for them because it has action, it has cool guns, it has hardcore soldiers, it has an enemy that's like unambiguously, we have to kill it, but it's also super dangerous. Makes for a good game, right? No, because you're super dangerous and you're gonna die, but whatever. Gives you like, you recognize a lot, like we talked about like the encumbrance thing before, but we have hardcore armor now and like colonial marine armor stuff. We have some more items that you can carry around, but still not very many. you get some merit point. No, you what combat actions according to how smart you are still. Your will does stuff because we have new stats. The stats do things, yay. And you eventually are done making a character. Like, it's also stuff like operation modifiers to combat. It's just kind of strange. Like, you just chose what you did before, and then you get the kind of bonuses because based on what kind of duty you did and stuff. And sometimes there's 4 quotes on one page or 3.
Yeah, like they really felt the need to fill that space.
Yep.
When it's just like maybe you could be less engineer brain and have 2 columns of text.
And maybe you could be less movie fan brain and fill the end. Like, you're quoting the movie. This came out like very shortly after the movie. So cool, you like it. But anyone who buys this book also has seen it, so making it just the same, it's not the selling point. It's not positive. They know these quotes. And no one's going to sit here there and be like, hey, Hicks, man, you look just like I feel. No one is going to, like, yes, that movie is quotable, infinitely so. But no one is going to read this and be like, yeah, that moment, that was so cool. Like, hoorah, Marines. No, then people are going to be like, yeah, I know that quote. It was cooler in the movie when it was said by an actor.
Mm-hmm. This is like, how can I put this? This is like Monty Python and the Holy Grail, but for conservatives.
Oh, wait, did Twitch die? Folks? My stream wasn't interrupted, so I hope it didn't.
Twitch has been acting funny today. Like, it did away with all the channels that I was following on the sidebar. That like 3 times.
Okay, well. Okay. Well, as far as I know, we have everything fine now on my end.
Yep.
So
good.
Anyway, we're going through this some more. We have seen more like pictures from the movie. We get some opponent skill ratings in case you want to fight dudes. Facesaga Sin MATLAB. Like, is this? Yeah, thank you, Facesaga Sin MATLAB. Yeah, I know. Like, why is this even here? It's just confusing. Base odds. What? In case the degree of success phase is very important, particularly great success in like projects, social situations. What? Just subtract the success roll from the number of which the player rolled. When it gets failure 0. So if I fail by 10 or more, my career is over? On a random check? But if it can be a work of genius, I'm a true master now for what 10 more? Are we rolling D100s or D20s for this? Like, all these numbers give me the D20 vibe, but it
might be a 2D10. It might be a 2D10.
Oh, yeah.
But it's under skills here. Let's.
Scroll past it.
I'm trying to see it. Skill rating, blah, blah,
blah. This, by the way, one of the more important things about writing a book like this, writing any RPG book, is to repeatedly state what die is being rolled, because people are going to flip through the book.
Yeah.
During play, arrive at the thing they were so looking for, and if it says just list of thing and doesn't tell you the whole rule, and the rule includes what die you have to roll, then you have to now look up the dice.
Yeah.
And yes, of course, it's not going to happen too often, because if you keep playing, you'll know the dice eventually. But that's why modern books usually list exactly how many dice you roll and what you roll several times to hammer it into your brain. Because in these books, like, it mentions the kind of dice you roll exactly one time. Then it just gives you numbers because it has mentioned it. Engineer brain says it's fine. And engineer brain doesn't write good RPGs. Sorry, you need designer brain. Like, it rolls 3d6 twice takes the bigger number for character for the character stats, but I don't know what it rolls for like resolution stuff. Is it also
3d6 again?
Oh, okay. So it has to fail by 10 or more. It has to be a pretty hard check in the first place. Okay. I'm pretty sure some of this stuff is going to be game breaking because of the 3d6 like spread of chances what you roll. But some of it might be fine. Deploy and handle. Like strike team deployed and yeah, no, it sure was a movie, wasn't it? Like it's so bad. Fall damage based damage. And stuff.
Wait, that's actually more severe than Shadowrun. Wow.
Yeah, no, but if they are good, they don't even feel it really. Like, the system doesn't play well for sure.
No.
Like, Ripley's last trip out, the artificial person malfunctioned. There were problems and a few deaths were involved. Like, it's not a quote. It's not a quote. No one cares.
No one cares.
It's nothing to do with skills. And blah 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 forever. Yeah, now we get to setting. Like there has not been a million billion allusions to the setting before. And they actually tell you for their pages and pages what the alien setting is. Nobody needed that. Nobody. Because if you buy this book, you know what it is. Like, oh my god. Like, who cares? They explained so many times what the rearguard action is, tactical assault. Like, that's funny. Because the original book doesn't go into detail about any of this shit. But the author expected some non-military man to read this at some point. So we have to explain, like in excruciating detail, what a corporate transition or security position entails, a recon, a civil order mission, and so on and so forth. Like it's weird.
Like, I'll be real. Like we've reviewed now 2 different takes on aliens, and it's like both times I'm left going, I could write something better than this. Maybe I should.
Yeah. Like the
serial numbers filed off.
The problem with the other Alien game was it just didn't tell you how to play a proper game. More than once.
This tells you way too hard.
No. This is actually even worse in my opinion because this is like here's mostly rules about how to shoot the alien.
Yep.
And it just completely forgoes the whole horror aspect of the creature. And the danger aspect and survival aspects, like their skills, okay, fine. But you are going to have 30 pages of gun stats at the end again. Not stats, but gun resolution tables. Like, if there's horror in there, it's purely the DM's thing. Oh, look, there's a car. It's a fucking map. It's a fucking map of the fucking...
There's just so much in this book.
Then they explain all the planets.
Like,
because clearly, if I want to play in the aliens universe, I really want to go to all of the planets where there's no aliens.
I want to go to Bial, which is another one of Hyperdyne's special labs. Yeah, I really want to go there.
There's so much info about the setting. I mean, yes, good on them for including it. It is a book about aliens, about the world, but...
Yeah.
It's just so baffling. So baffling. And again, there's just movie pictures in here. There's nothing else. Here's some rules for aliens. Like facehugger combat. Warrior sentry, blah, blah, blah. The actual stats come later, of course. Here's more equipment. Just like the pure text just kills me. Like it's so out of date in that regard, but it's like, just put the stats next to it. Like it's not difficult. Like, Not that I want the stats, but I want the stats if you write it down here. Terrible. And here's some vehicle stats, which we also didn't really ask for or need. Blah, blah, blah. And here's the combat system. We finally arrived.
Yeah.
And it's just the same fucking thing.
Yep.
Where we have glancing rolls and we have physical damage of in the hundreds. And disabling injuries and knockouts. We know all of this. Because ultimately, what we are here for is just to shoot the alien in the face with our gun. Then there's acid damage, because obviously we needed to have that. Because aliens, makes sense. And vehicle combat, very briefly, like, this game more or less takes all of their rules that they wrote into little booklets and gives you a whole thing. And it sucks.
Yeah, when they put it all together, it's so bad. It's too much. Like, I characterize it as too much because, like, yes, we're all here to kill bugs and have fun, but, like, where's the fun part? And there's way too much focus on the kill bug, but specifically by shoot gun. Too much.
The big issue with it, and it's super obvious, and Drake is correct, is that the system they made is only concerned with bullet speeds and penetration factors.
Yep.
And they bolted a game about alien onto it, which should be a horror-themed game.
Yep.
Even aliens, it's a horror action. Like, they're not powerless, those people, but they sure die hard and they don't die fun. So, like, simulating that might be cool. It is always hard to play a game, in my opinion, where character death is cheap and expected. In that regard, with horror, because you don't really get to feel like your character was important, because you made them and then they died immediately. And the only way this game makes you care about your character is that if your guy dies, you have to make a new one, and it's gonna suck. But that's just gonna mean you don't play this game. Like, there's not a single piece of art in this whole thing except for the guns in the other booklet. Like, it's egregious. Not even concept art. Like, put Giga art in here.
Yeah, put some Giga art in here. It's and the thing is that even at the time, there were so many imitators of his work.
Holy crap!
You could have easily found an art student that would be like, "Yeah, I want to draw like him."
Like, okay, here's some art, but then there's photos again.
Photos again.
Okay, they did some technical drawings, yeah.
Oh, good.
Give them that. And then some guy. This is a technical manual, by the way. Versus scattered by the boron carbide layer. Carbon fiber layer delaminates to absorb the energy of the impact. The Wiener layer catches any spalling. If a book talks about spalling, you are done. Like, yeah, spalling is a thing. I know. I believe that's when, like, bits and pieces of the penetrated stuff go inside the shockwave goes through, and then the stuff radiates out little pieces of itself, and that's how they used to destroy tanks, because you could just shoot them and then the inside armor of the tank would, like, shoot little shrapnels and kill the crew. But yeah, it's a physical effect that does happen.
It does happen. It's usually in reference to geology, but it's also with bullet penetration and tank shell penetration.
Look at this guy. Look at how shit this looks. I know this isn't a high quality scan, but look at it's just they couldn't even, like, it's is it supposed to be, like, rounded at the top?
It's supposed to look like somebody carved it out of rubber.
As someone broke out of jail making this out of soap, yeah. And then here's just a bunch of vehicles. Like, I always like this drawings where it's like, oh, look at how complex this shit is. And then I like those, and this is high. This is actually a high skill, and I love it.
I like stuff like this a lot too. Like, if you're going to do a technical manual, there's a lot of things in here that, like, yes, do this. But when you sit here and realize this is bolted onto the how we shoot
Like,
gun game.
Again, like you also can't do this. You can't put this thing, this basically mecha level detail shot of the inner workings of this landing vehicle in here, and then put this frumpy guy in, like, looks like he just shat his pants into this book. Like, who the fuck is this? Weapons officer flight suit? No, this is a flight suit?
Yeah, it's a flight suit.
No way. There's no way that's a flight suit. Come on.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And then you have art. You have decent art. Put more of that.
Like, that looks a lot closer to what we keep imagining.
I love this. This cartoon character. Like, there's some production value here, but also you just, again, too many movie screens. Never mix that. Like, I actually give the original book more points because it doesn't mix it, even though I hate it there. And then just have, like, a lot of items, which is, as a book for more stuff, fair enough. Okay, cool. Yes, the loader is there, of course. Spacesuit. Some sort of, what the fuck is going on here? Oh, it's like the sensor sources thing. Okay, yeah, okay, fine.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And just again, like, you had Giga. You could have had Giga art. Just get Giga art. Don't get this.
Throw some of it in there.
Like, you could have paid for that if you paid for the other art.
And like I said, at the time people were even imitating him, so just find an art student.
Yeah, totally. Some people would do it to this day. Look, there's a drawing of a facehugger. Good job.
That's really well done.
It's like a textbook drawing, which I love.
Yeah.
Like the labels and stuff on it. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they should publish this. Good job. And then we come to the real, like, we already looked through this, the real meat of the book, which is all the real tables.
Of this.
All the tables they didn't put in the main book, they're here now. Good, congratulations. Like, this sucks. This very much sucks. And I think, again, like, if your whole system is about shooting gun, your system isn't big enough. Your system doesn't have enough focus. It does have too much focus, actually. There's too little going on to just bolt it onto a thing. And without now talking too long about it, because I'm kind of dying.
Yeah, I'm kind of dead inside now.
Yeah. We're going to Living Steel, the high-tech role-playing game by Leading Edge Games, which is their original setting.
Mm-hmm.
And this setting, I will give it to them that the setting they made is actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
We're going to gloss over the rules because this is Aliens. We're playing the Aliens game. We're going to see that really easily when we go to a character sheet. This is all the same. I think size is new because there's aliens now. So
they're aliens now.
But everything else, telepathy is also new. But everything else is very much, a few more skills actually. But it is the same thing. They took this and made their own game. So what is it about? Well, there's these evil aliens that are attacking the human empire. And they have attacked a planet, and you are part of the defense force of that planet and are supposed to now fight them. The initial attack is over and it's kind of petered out, and it's not really clear what's happening to the people on the ground. But please fight them and win because blah. And we have this teleportation device, but it's limited in how well it's usable.
Yep.
And they have a bunch of aliens, and it's also a bunch of gun art, which sucks, but it's at least art. because all of these guns have like this 45-degree angle look to them, and I hate it.
Yeah. They look like, how can I put this? Like they should be in the top left corner of a document as like a border.
Oh, Living Steel came first? Okay, fine. Whatever. I guess it makes sense that they actually, because considering how little amount of years all this was published, they kind of were working on both. This is 1987, and Aliens is 1986.
Wait.
Including in 1991 Century Fox Corporation. Oh, wait, this is that you sure? Oh, wait, but Sander, no. I said Living Steel came first. I'm just saying it's the same system. I'm just saying it's the same system. I'm not saying, I didn't mean to imply that Aliens came out first. No. I simply meant that they took the same rules and made this, and made the other. They made this first. That is correct, yeah. So for Aliens, they took out a few things, but I would say maybe they shouldn't have. Anyway. There is a few things in here I want to highlight because they are kind of egregious. Also, but the art in this is really cool. Like, look at this alien. Look at him.
Yeah, they put some passion into this one. They really did with that. Like,
this looks cool. And this is a great artist, whoever drew this. Good job. Like, this is peak black and white art. And this is really cool. Like, this guy looks super weird, and you can be scared of him. And you should be, because he can look through walls to shoot you through them. Because here's the quote for that.
I definitely come from the school of, can we make our aliens alien, please? And this really satiates that.
Yeah. Look at this stupid gun.
So stupid.
It has its reasons for existing, but I'm not sure if we'll get to it. There was another piece of art. Because one person made these gun pictures, and those suck. And another person made the cool aliens. It was pretty early on then, I guess, because I also kind of like this cowboy here.
Yes.
Where was this guy? Trent equipped. Oh, this is just a dude. This is just the person we are supposed to play. They have Trent again. So it kind of looks an awful lot like a Nerf brand shot. But I guess this came first, though. And this is, by the way, a rocket launcher of some description, or a grenade launcher, which is why most of it's on the back. You're meant to put it on your shoulder.
Oh, God. This is very MS Paint filled this in energy.
Yeah, probably not MS Paint, but it looks like it. And because of the shading, I would probably not want to do that in MS Paint, but I don't know. This is just like I just don't vibe with the 45-degree bullets. Fuck, what's it called?
Yeah.
The muzzle. Yeah, because I think that's bad.
That is actually bad.
This would cause your exhaust to come out at an angle and deflect your bullets down. I think.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but slightly.
There's so many other things, like if you have your the back end of the gun designed that way, but then you have the deployable stock, you're going to break your deployable stock pretty quickly because you still need the back end to be even and not at a 45-degree angle. Having the handle at a 45-degree angle, oh God, no, don't do that.
Yeah. Which I wouldn't really point this out because it's just art, but this is a game about gun and gun shoots exclusively still. Like this someone should have been like, nah, make that not look like that. Like all of this can be angled, but the front should be like level with the rest of the bullet travels. And also, this is a laser gun. Good luck making a focus that shoots this out straight at this angle. Like the laser has to be like straight in here somehow. If you put like a lens here, it's gonna do shit to your laser you don't want. Anyway, so so they give us some rules, but mostly the like interesting part of this is actually the setting, and mostly because like they give you a lot of facts about it. Also a lot of facts is kind of like, well, yeah, these evil aliens are fighting the Empire, but also the Empire are giant assholes. They don't say it, or Imperium is what they call it. They don't say it per se, but they sure tell you that they're assholes because they, for example, enslaved a race of aliens to work in their nuclear reactors because they were resistant to radiation. Now these aliens are forced to work in the reactors forever. Stuff like that. And then you have different, like, they go pretty hard at things because, for example, here the Imperium gets like a whole page. Trident is a senior member of the Star Guild whose position is secured by its sole possession of the secret of teleporter technology. So this is like a corporation or something, and they are member of the Star Guild and they know teleportation. Yeah. Scan Technologies is another senior member of the Star Guild, specializing in medical service for Starcast and Landcase Elite. Scan was invited to Rand by Trident, supposedly, to serve the large tourist population. Okay, cool. And then we have subcons and surrogates and Landcase, which are like dudes who own land. And then we have this alien guy who is really good at remembering things, but does not have doesn't have creativity, so they love books, which is a cool idea. And then we have ever more shit about like tourists, bondsmen, visors, Slozak, spectrals, minor workers, major workers, minor warrior, major warrior. The spectrals are the evil guys who are coming at you. They have no individual identity, operating as a telepathic hive mind. So you're fighting hive mind. These are the radiation resistant guys, and they rebelled when the attack began because obviously. And now they are still running the reactors though because that's the only thing keeping them alive and warm, stuff like that. And you have the Orca, which is the teleportation thing, the orbital remote computer access, which used to be basically a teleportation service for the whole planet for everyone, but now it's just military and there's only a single satellite that works for it. So you can teleport once every 2 weeks because of how satellites orbit in polar orbit, blah, 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 blah. They knew their science fiction, and I kind of wish they would have written a book. Because this could have been a good book.
I think it could have been good too. Like, there's a lot of that with this, just this potential of, hey, you guys actually had a good thing going. Why didn't you seal the deal?
Yep. What Sonnet says is basically accurate. The game universe of Living Steel is dominated by an oppressive Stargate Imperium staggered by alien invasion. Into the breach stepped the characters, fighting the alien occupiers with battlesuits, Living Steel, and other high-tech gear on the post-apocalypse world of Rand. Yes, because that's one of the attacked ones. And here we see their copy-paste methods, because here's the explanation for all the military actions again. And then this thing gives you information about running a game. Interestingly, either in the default setting of, okay, the alien attack initially has happened, but we are fighting them still, and it's kind of like a bit of a free-for-all because the planet went to shit. Or during the initial invasion where there's like nuclear strikes and shit like that. And then you just have tables that tell you, okay, how many percentages of people just fucking die? And stuff like that. And then there's like a dragon guy. And I want more of that. Less of the other thing. And they tell you like, oh, there's Imperial forces here. There were the 27th Star Marine Regiment and the 7th Imperial Guard Strike Battalion. And they tell you what they had, and then Trident had its own forces, and Scan had like a regiment of some kind for some reason, and then blah blah blah. And then we have for no reason just this Amazon chick with a thingy.
No reason.
Brandy Sheraton. Station manager, KVSR radio. This is what a station manager looks like in the Nightmare Future of 2180.
Oh, so this is like post-apocalyptic. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The setting is now post-apocalyptic, but you are still military and still supposed to fight aliens.
Yep.
And then they explain about, again, the satellites and how often you can teleport, and it's not very often. So it explains why you can be in different places for different adventures, but then also Duke 20, holy crap, it's true. But only if it strikes the brain. It tells you why the satellites malfunction. That's only one of them. So we can teleport for each adventure, but then you have to stay at least 2 weeks in the zone before you can take you back.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't get help immediately. And they tell you that the Spectrals just attacked with what their guys' eyes, the whole fucking timeline of everything. Blah blah. It isn't bad for setting, honestly. It is pretty hoorah military, of course, and we are, this evil Imperium is not really sold to me as evil too well in the text of the book. But it's something, and then a lot of things are repeated from their original thing, which, yeah, you can't just release your game in 50 small booklets and expect that to sell, guys. You put it all in one book. It's not hard. Yeah. Everyone did it.
Everybody did it.
And here's the grenade thing again, which is from the core book as well. Then we have vehicle combat rules again, which I don't think anyone ever did a vehicle combat in this game, and I can't believe them. Medical recovery.
I can't believe them either.
They wisely sped this up because it's the future. It's a lot more likely that if your guy just gets incapacitated from wounds, that they might actually make it. Because we didn't really get into it, but if you get hit in particular places of your body in this game, you're going to just, you're not going to die immediately, but you're going to fucking die in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
There's just rules for how long it takes, and usually it doesn't take very long.
Nah,
which,
it doesn't.
Realistic, right? If I'm in a firefight today and I get hit in both my lungs, I'm probably going to die in a minute. Mm-hmm. Gasping for air. That's not a fun thought, but that's how it is. But in the future, they might be able to help you somehow. And then there's some stuff about scavenging, because, we're post-apocalyptic. There's some rules which are clunky, but they have them. There's the rules for making things out of scrap you find. And that's all kind of fine. Mm-hmm. And then there is the glossary of terms and the tables. And the issue with the tables is pretty obvious that they printed them like this.
Yep.
So I will read none of them.
Exactly zero.
I fucking refuse. And again, if you look at the scroll bar, about a third of their book is tables. And there's 5 more other books for this, which are heavy metal. I assume is more stuff. There's one Xerox. I assume that's aliens attacking. Operation 7 Swords, probably an adventure. Rent 2349. And Trident RMBK. I can't even begin to guess. And I refuse to look at these books. But yeah, there sure is a lot of tables. I'm still scrolling. I'm going to stop doing it with my finger now. And then we have, this is just a high-tech weapon data. This is all the weapons. They give you a little bit of a rundown of what the weapons, actually a lot of rundown of the weapons with stuff. And then eventually we're going to get to them. And they all look like shit. They have this weird forward angle thing. And I hate it. And I can't fathom why they did it. This one is the one that doesn't have it and looks so dumb for other reasons. This is actually kind of a fun weapon because it's meant as a sidearm for people in power armor to mow down unarmored opponents at close range without care if your friends get hit by it, because the armor makes them literally immune to it, because it's pure explosive ammo. That's that's something a shitty military like an empire who doesn't care about civilian death would make. And the fact that it has like more or less since this is where the trigger is, this is just like a power glove size of hand space, and then you can punch with your nails in case you run out of ammo. Yeah, that gun is actually more thought out than you'd think, but it's still like not great. And then we have a truly humongous map of this planet.
Wow.
Which okay, can't fault you, but look at someone scanned this really high quality.
They scanned this featureless planet very high quality.
So it's pretty featureless, to be honest, yeah.
Compared to what we normally see today, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like also since you can teleport, like it's less important than you think to have places started out that degree. But yeah, and then we have some, what else is here? Oh yeah, this was funny to me. We have the order for in case you want more Phoenix Command or rent or like stuff from them. With the pricing list, you can just fill it out and send it to them. I mean, not anymore, but you could. And here's like the explanation as to what those are. And then we have the character sheet, and then the book is over. This is probably their best product, just because it's actually a game that someone could play.
It's actually a full game that isn't based on an already existing IP.
Yes. And it has more interesting aliens to fight, because these aliens have guns and are a threat. Because no offense to the aliens, but the only reason they are a threat is that you're fighting them in cramped corridors. They wouldn't be for like the only, and then they take you over and make more of themselves, obviously, and stuff. But like it wouldn't be that difficult to shoot an alien out in the open. They just wouldn't show themselves, right? Because they got stealth. But it's like, I think it's a more varied opponent if you can have aliens with guns and then different aliens with different tactics and stuff like that to fight. Like, it makes it more interesting than purely the aliens thing.
And it turns them more into an antagonist rather than to use the 4 different kinds of conflict. It turns into man versus man rather than man versus nature.
Yes.
Because that's one of the big problems that I've always had with the Aliens franchise is that, yes, this is a horror series, but you could have easily done the same thing, except, oh no, there's bears here.
Yeah, really angry bears.
Yeah, really angry bears that want to eat you. And, like, that's the difference. That's why, like, this kind of science fiction really appeals to me, where, all right, we're not a terrific empire, and we're here, and we're going to kill these aliens.
Yeah.
But, you figure out how you navigate that, guys. What the problem is, of course, is bolted onto Bullet Simulator. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like this setting, I would read a book in this setting, provided the author isn't like gonna sell me that the Empire is actually really cool. Like this is kind of, it's not to the level of 40k where it's like completely irredeemable garbage. It's like a way more organized evil empire, basically. And so it would be interesting to read a thing in this setting and like vibe with it for what it is, and have weird aliens there, because the aliens are nicely weird. Like, sure, they are bipedal and kind of like lizard guys or whatever, but they for like, this is still 10 steps. Like a guy like this, it's at least Star Wars level weird, right? It's fair enough.
Fair enough.
Like, guy like this, little man with a book who has weird frog legs, which apparently can fold both ways. Like, that's, give me that. I like stuff like that, and especially like this guy.
I really like that guy a lot.
Like with his like see-through legs with the muscles exposed, and not exposed necessarily, but you know what I mean. Like,
Like it almost looks like a plant monster.
yeah,
Except like that's lignin instead of like traditional bone and muscle.
Yep. And then hive minds and stuff. Yeah, cool. But it's still bolted on to the biggest of lead weights I've ever seen in this combat system. And now to talk about briefly, there's a way this combat system might be good. And before you all gasp and say, what? Or are you crazy? No, what? I say, many a game, computer game in this case, in my opinion, is a bit too simplistic about damage. And I would not mind a game where getting shot in the foot actually like makes me slower, for example.
Yeah.
And there's games like that, like Armor, for example. Armor simulates like where you are shot. And I have there's a non-zero chance Armor uses similar shit to this. Because there's people out there making computer programs that automate all of your gunnery. All of your gun shoots. Armor and Tarkov both, yeah, exactly. But most computer games are just like, well, you are a sack of 100 hit points, don't get shot in the head, that's double damage.
Yep.
One bullet of gun that hits you will do 20 damage, and it's doubled for head, halved for leg and arms. So torso shots, good. Headshots, better. Avoid hitting other places. That is our whole thing. That's the whole logic of our gun simulation. And there's a place, I think, for a realistic game that does it realistically.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because if all the math is not done by me or my friends, who I'm subjecting to this against their will, then that's fine. Let a computer do the math.
Yeah. Also, squad-based RPGs, go for it. Because at that point, when you're doing a squad-based RPG, you're not like, okay, the game's over, my character got shot in the hand. Yep. Which is the problem that keeps cropping up in, like, say, Underrail, where you get one status effect in your main character. Well, okay, I guess I have to reload right away because there's no way I'm getting out of this. But in a squad-based game, oh, no, it's perfect. Like a Wasteland 3 or something.
Yeah, because again, the idea that, like, let's say XCOM 2 or
XCOM 2. Yeah.
That one, in my opinion, was, yeah, shoot the robot. It's going to be fully efficient in every way until you kill it, until its hit point reaches 0. But that's also true for your guys, except they heal after. But the healing is basically only based on how many hit points they lost and stuff like that. Like, I don't mind those games being more simulationist at all.
I don't either.
And if you're going to simulate like arm spalling in a computer game, that's also fine. Do it. I don't care.
Yeah. Do it.
Because math is simple for a computer. But this is just not a game you want to play at a table, especially not at a time when this came out where there wasn't a computer. Like, there were computers, but they weren't home computers. Like, the only thing you had is like a very old calculator to like punch numbers into. This would be hell to play. And even if you like learn every move in it and understand how to play it, which is not impossible, it's just complicated, right? Like, unlike, say, Continuum, this game is playable technically, but it would just be not fun. It wouldn't be fun to play it. Also, like, I don't know if it's to their credit or not, but they sure also did the quotes here. But this works better. You know why? Because this is a setting we don't know. So getting a quote about the setting, like, suit up, boys, we are point on the Dragon Star. Okay, what's the Dragon Star, please? A Dragon Star is a fighting formation which uses the Orca to transport the combat team into an enemy position. Each person is responsible for giving feet of fire. If Point Star is first in, they are responsible for taking accurate coordinate readings for subsequent assault teams. Yeah, see? This is military tactics as this universe does them, and that's interesting to people. Like you can immediately see an appeal here. Like if a book was like, okay, we are doing Dragon Star, so meaning we are probably second after Point Star, so we really have to give them the best fire support we can. Probably means we're gonna get the heaviest armor and heaviest guns. So that's good, but also we are gonna get shot at a lot. So everyone's gonna be super nervous about it and shit. That's interesting for a book. It's way less interesting for a game. And also we are coming to one of the cardinal issues I always have when any game does them, in this case RPG again, we're talking about RPGs again, is military campaigns. Because in, like, now I'm bingo card everyone, Shadowrun. I as the game master am like, hey, there's this heist I want you all to do. Here's money. And the conceit is that your characters are going to say yes to have an adventure. That's understood at the table. But if I say this in advance, for example, I told Drake, hey Drake, I'm doing a heist next time. Who do you want to play? Because Drake has 2 characters, and I will ask that every time. Because you can, I think everyone here who's seen my Shadowrun game can easily see how Jules, a gnome infiltrator, would have been very, very useful in that run. Probably actually maybe to the point of make me write it completely differently to give give like a challenge to Jules, because those guards sure weren't very competent, and the cameras just were easy to hack and shit. Because if I don't tailor the problem to the group in a little bit, then blah blah blah, whatever. My point is, the conceit is still the player saying yes to the adventure. I give a choice. They would give and then the problem comes in, because the military campaign is like, okay, the CO says you're going into the Dragon Star, and then you just have to, and you can RP that it's the breaking your balls, but that's gonna get old real fast. Like in Shadowrun, let's say I invite only trolls to the heist, then one of them might stand up and be like, hey, what the fuck is going on? Do you want this to fail? You're telling us we should ghost our way into a museum? We have 5 trolls. None of us are good at sneaking. We're not ghosting our way, we're gonna shoot our way, and you better like it. Like you put us in this room, and you demanded we do this dumb run for you. But there's no way, you're setting us up to fail. You don't want to pay us a bonus. So what the fuck, man? And then you can negotiate. But in any military campaign, you're just gonna be like, yeah, we are landing in Normandy tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, make your peace with God, because you're probably gonna get shot. Yeah. It's not as interesting, because you don't get even the illusion of a choice. Right?
You really don't. And then also, like, to piggyback onto what you're saying, even if there was a choice, how many different cool missions could you do with this setup? Not many. Because all of it is all about shoot gun.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you said we're going to play something that's akin to, I don't know, Glenn Cook's Black Company, there are a lot of things that get evoked from that. A lot of different kind of missions that you could go on. This is a rescue message. This is a hostage mission. This is we go kill, I don't know, fantasy creature here. We go rescue platoon that got marooned. You know, there's a lot of things that get evoked, which is what is supposed to happen when you say military RPG. But the reality is most military RPGs get boiled down into something like Phoenix Command, where it's just we shoot gun, which, yes, that's part of it, but like that should be 15, maybe 10% of it, not 100% of it.
Yeah. And the game does like give you, to its credit, its limited credit, it does give you the ability to be like in command to a certain degree. Like you can maybe plan your own missions to an extent and maybe and stuff like that, but it's still gonna be about we gun shoot at the aliens and then we like conquer territory from them. That's gonna be your only goal. And then the game does really very much leave you alone with coming up with interesting other objectives.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if this is a war game, then the war is the most important objective, blah, blah, blah. So, Yeah. I would encourage whoever came up with the setting to maybe write in it. But it's probably too late at this point. And the game is just not for anyone to play at a table except with a computer program. And even then, for an RPG, it fails. Like, the most interesting part of an RPG isn't that my guy got shot. No, it's how my guy lived, and how my guy does things, how my guy is going to tackle a problem. And for a this is now the weird part, for a good system to wargame in, this is both too complicated and also too finicky, and in a weird way also too limited. What do I mean by that? Well, finicky is obvious. Since we simulate every bullet, it's going to take you a long time if you do a war game on it where you have like 100 soldiers on each side or something like that, which is a number that's even low for a war game. I would not have to do hundreds of bullet calculations every turn, even with a computer program, because at that point you're just going to make errors typing in the numbers, and it's going to like fail. And too finicky again, to all of the bullets, but then also too limited, because yeah, sure, you gave me the stats for 50 guns and 50 more in this book and for 100 vehicles, but what exactly is the battle capacity of a Lehman Russ battle tank in the system? Nobody knows. What is even the exact damage value and shit for a gun that's not in here? Let's say I want a musket because I want to play Napoleonic Wars in this game.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can't, because there isn't a stat line, and they never made it, and they also never gave you rules for making it yourself. Actually, this game gives you a bunch of new guns and power armor and shit, and that's cool. And it works because this is its own setting. But I cannot graft this onto anything because the rules are so different. I cannot graft anything into it. No. Because how do I do that? How do I, let's say I make a Gauss rifle and then I look at, so hard to read this, 3mm battle pack Gauss machine gun, Star Force. Okay, cool. Actually, Gauss gun. I actually happened to find the right thing. So it has 129 at 40. That's a lot. It's a good gun. But is it comparable to the 2mm Fallout Gauss gun? Is that just going to be better because it's faster? Worse because the bullet is smaller? About the same? Nobody knows. So it's just arbitrary.
Yeah, it's arbitrary, and then also another factor with this. Look at how many numbers are for each individual gun.
Yeah,
that's too many number. That's way too many number. If you have more than, I'm going to just say 5 variables for a gun, I think we're done here. Yeah. And usually those 5 variables are how accurate, how much damage, and 3 ranges. Yep. Usually that's what it is, and that's it.
Yep. Very true. And then you can abstract out like stuff like ranges into a global rule.
Yeah, it just which says, I love that SR4 did.
Yeah, this gun has a range increment of 5, 10, 20, 40, 60. And that means at point blank, close, medium, long, and very long ranges have these the global modifiers apply that always apply. Which, by the way, we don't play with in the game usually, but it doesn't really matter too much. But anyway, if you want this range, that could be a global thing, and you would just have to put the numbers up here, would go, and you would put them here, and then the guns can have different ranges. Isn't that nice? Like, it's not even that thought out for that, because you're just assuming that I cannot ever shoot what the fuck is this? The heavy lace machine gun can never shoot at 600 paces. Because it doesn't have stats for that. But what if I'm a good shot with it?
Yeah. Because like it doesn't matter what game it is, there should always be that extreme value. There
Yeah.
just should be. And
Yeah.
like ugh.
Like on its own terms, this is just again like imagine us making up a gun for it and sitting there and caring if the penetration at 20 yards is 110 versus 40 107. What? I don't know. I don't want to care. Maybe it's reversed because it's an anti-kinetic gun. It's more damage at longer ranges. But I don't shoot it into space or something the galaxy will explode. Like it's the nitty-gritty kills this so hard. If they had just made a system for like a global system for gunplay and then made the gun simple, I think this might actually have been not that bad.
Yeah. I just think like I'm gonna say at least 3 levels of simplification.
Yeah.
And then it would have been fine. Well, it's just as it is now, there's just too many layers of complexity. There just is.
Yeah. Like again, just make the big tables for hitting, that's fine. For its time anyway. And then just be like, yeah, pistol has this, rifle has this, and sniper rifle has this, and grenade has this, and then you then make it like easy. And yeah, sure, then some nerd is gonna be like, yeah, but this grain of this the shotgun, this the yeah, but there is not enough super gun nerds out there to make this game successful. And so none of these games were successful.
Like, okay, so the reality is there are 2 kinds of gun nerds when it comes to this kind of thing. In my experience, my wealth of experience as an American tabletop role player who's played with American gun nuts a lot.
Yeah.
There's the one camp who says, well, this is not simulationist enough, but I will play it anyway because we can make it simulationist enough for me. And usually that happened in Shadowrun a lot. They were just like, but I want to simulate this gun. And then we picked something that was very close to it, and they were eventually satisfied.
Yeah.
And then there's the other type who said, this does not simulate it well enough for me. I'm going to be eternally dissatisfied, blah, blah, blah. And that person is a pain in the ass at the table and then eventually leaves because nothing did it exactly the specific way they wanted it to do, even though half of their gun knowledge comes from movies, and movies are often wrong about things. So there's those 2 camps, and it's the first player would have looked at this and been like, oh my God, okay, this is even too much for me. And then the second player would have gone, okay, I really like this is great. But then at some point halfway through been like, you know, this is really great. And then hide their Warhammer 40K miniatures because they'd rather be playing that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't satisfy either of them.
Yeah, and even if you like get a group of type 2s together and they all agree to play it, like they're gonna bog themselves down because you also need to be actually good at math.
You know.
To play it. At least, especially at the time, again, it was written. Today, like there's programs, if you Google this game's name, you're gonna find them, where everything is automated for you. Just put in the range and the gun, and the program knows your chances. And they're gonna do all the math for you and give you a number. But then you arrive at the problem where it's like, oh, I guess my guy got shot in the brain and is dead now. So I guess I don't play anymore. Right?
Yep.
I guess I have to make a new guy now, and he's not going to be in this adventure. So I'm just out for the evening. Because even in this one, where maybe you take over an NPC or something, but like, it's not great if your character always can just, off of one die roll, just die. Like, that's high-level D&D, the GM wants the big bad to really seem like a threat bullshit, like power word kill. But even that isn't even an instant death anymore. Even that only does that much damage to you. But there's like always the nerd on the internet who's like, well, you have to be above 100 points because otherwise you're going to be in power word kill range. And I'm always like, what games do you play in? the fuck? But anyway, like the death of your character, just going off of a role that you didn't even influence except by saying I go prone, is not great. And if you can only prep for something, like in this game, your only way to make your character survivable is to prep and to lay ambushes and to be sneaky and to always get the drop on the enemy, leads to a style of gameplay that is slow, sluggish, boring, and no fun.
Yeah.
Because, like, this is when I played GURPS. I talked about this before. I'm going to talk about it again here because it's just so appropriate. We played Cyberpunk in GURPS, which was a mistake. But it had pretty good cyberpunk amounts of cyberware and stuff you could get. So we made characters and we played it, and then we quickly realized, wait. So if we get, like, we have automatic guns, so they do too. If I were to shoot you with my automatic gun, I can, on a napkin, realize that you are dead then. Like, there isn't even like a contest to this.
There's no question,
You're just going to get ripped apart by bullets because it's very easy to kill you because we can't get good armor because it costs too much and guns are very cheap. So our only chance is to always ambush everyone. And that is what we did for a while. And then everyone at the table eventually looked at each other and was like, this sucks. Let's not play it again. It sucks. Like, we are only doing this one thing. And yeah, sure, it's working right now, but you can see, okay, eventually someone is going to do this to us. We're just going to die. Because realistically speaking, yes. Unrealistically, of course not, because it's a game and the DM wouldn't just kill us all. However, then why are we doing this much work to force ourselves to have less fun? And then the only other way it can work in this specifically is everybody wears the fattest power armor and stomps on like cannon fodder aliens. And I guess that might be fun for an evening, but then I don't really care if I pulp the alien with my first bullet or my 10th out of my 100 round of fire super machine gun. I would just like to know that I pulped it. And I do not need to roll infinite dice to find that out, please. So it just fails on every possible way it can fail in playability. And that is, I think, my final word on this. Do you have anything to add to that, Drake?
Yes. As I said before, this would be great for tactical squad RPG stuff, or even if it's not an RPG, like XCOM is not an RPG. I don't care what people say.
To reaffirm, PC game RPG. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
PC game, tactical game, tactical video games.
Yes.
Like, it's perfect for that. It's so perfect, but that's not what we're playing when we sit around and play a tabletop game. So there's just. Again, at least two layers of simplification, maybe three. All the guns could have been simplified down. There's so many things that could have been simplified down. And then with all the space that you have left, because you simplified it down, you could have added an RPG to it. And then also you could have added all the other things to it. You could have had your lion stats in there too, and how hard they hit with their bite. There's just... Like, I get it. You wanted to do this thing that was going to be the be-all, end-all of gun simulation, but you didn't do it.
Yep.
Because, as everybody knows, I've played D20 Modern for quite a few years, and one of the things about D20 Modern was they would release books, like Weapons Locker, like even the core book itself, that would have a huge list of guns and would bluntly show you these are all extremely similar to each other. You're not going to, like... edge out by picking this gun over another one, which was fine.
Yes. I know I still have the newsletter, and I talked about the newsletter. I will not just go there. I do not see a reason. The TLDR, what I got from it was, they made all these books and they weren't financially successful, so they eventually stopped making them. The company never officially went under. They stopped making things. And that's the newsletter. I don't really want to go into more. It doesn't really matter. There's some. I mean, there is some interesting stuff in there, like the tidbit that this one of the authors is a rocket engineer and stuff like that. But yeah, cool, good on him. And I'm sure, like, the kind of guy who writes this is the kind of guy who can do this math in his head, because that's very much that part of the, what's it called, skill blindness, where if you are very skilled at something, you assume other people are skilled at it too. And I can't prove it, but I feel like some skill blindness is involved when you just make a game like this, because you yourself can actually do this math in your head in half a second and play this game like it was intended, never realizing that most people will be there like, what page was it on again? Like, for reference, when we play Shadowrun, people still ask, okay, what do I roll? 13 runs now in, and it's valid because it's a complex system, and people's brains are sometimes not wired to retain the information that per default that thing is like strength plus athletics or whatever, and that is most players. That has always been most players, even back then. Like, when the nerds ruled this way more than they do today, most of them didn't know how to math that good. Most of them were more strategic thinkers who were into wargaming as a strategy thing and not as a bullet simulationist thing with strategy bolted on, because otherwise the bullet's going to get you and kill your character. Like, this was never going to make a dent. I'm sorry. Like, I would have, again, this isn't, it isn't without merit, not totally, but it's just a terrible game, terrible TTRPG. And again, like, with the first part of this Phoenix Command, you could also feel like that's what they actually wanted to make, and then they realized, oh, this isn't actually anything anyone can use, so we have to bolt it onto something. But by then, it was like so bloated and over the top complex that bolting it onto something made that something terrible.
Yeah. Like, we did Fabula Ultima last time, and it has some of the simplest resolutions for things that you can possibly imagine. But you have a diversity of actions with that simple resolution.
Yes.
Shadowrun has its complexities, but at the same time, everything still boils down to that die roll, and the die roll is relatively simple compared to this especially.
Yes.
And that is what's so key, is like, if your resolutions can be simple and your interpretation of resolutions be simple, your game can do a lot. It can do lots of heavy lifting. It can heavy lift almost anything then. But when it gets to the level where we're sitting here pondering, oh, but if the shot had landed an inch this direction, you would have taken 50 million damage instead of 50,000. Stop, fuck off. Like, you're done. You're done. That's why, like, even a game like Rifts, where you're just like, all right, I get 6 attacks, I'm going to shoot 6 missiles at you, and we're going to have to resolve all 6 of those. You can still resolve that pretty quickly compared to the system like this. And that's key to everything. Like, nothing destroys dramatic tension like, all right, well, let's go do some trigonometry for 20 minutes.
And then the trigonometry kills. That's the worst part. Like,
exactly.
Guess that proves that making RPG system isn't rocket science. No, it exactly isn't. Like, it will never be, because the hobby that we are doing here is collaborative storytelling. This could only ever have been a war game, and as I pointed out, it is too complicated for anything above like a small squad-based war game. And also, next one, like, it is also so deadly that it is not a very fun game, because if your side starts losing, you're probably gonna just keep losing. Like, the idea that someone can just 2-on-1 you in this game, and while you are in cover, sneak up on you from the side and shoot you in the side, and then you are dead with your soldier, means that it's realistic, sure, but I don't want to play it either. Like, the abstraction is so important in the end. I don't know. We hammered that home like amply, I think.
Yeah, like, ugh. That's why I keep returning to Shadowrun and Vampire and D&D and all these other things, because you're not going to get mired in this. You just aren't. Like, you might get mired in the interpretation of a result, like, well, I rolled 10 points above. What does that mean? And that's fine. That's how the game should be played, where you're agonizing over that a little bit. But instead of this, all right, which table again?
Yeah.
If we had to do that every time for Shadowrun, we wouldn't be playing it.
Because I came randomly across it. You will not get me to like change that because you put plumbing into your game as a skill trait. Like, it's such an afterthought. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, we can have whatever skill we want, I guess, because plumbing. But yeah, chaos.
Plumbing.
And then again, like, imagine losing the 2-hit page in this, like, from your ring book. What do you even do? You're just done. You can never play again. Because no one remembered that.
If somebody spills coffee on that table, you're done. Like, that is actually a good point. One that, like, is more of a problem of yesteryear than it is today with all their PDFs. But you spill your coffee on that one table where you can't play the game anymore.
Or more realistically, I have played from completion, from start to finish, an adventure in D&D without any books, with a bunch of drunk people at night when we should all have been sleeping because we were all too wired to sleep. We were all pissed in the sense of being drunk. We didn't know what the fuck was going on, but we played a simple version of D&D with just stats and rolling d20s for 4 hours. You can never do that with this.
No, you never can.
Never. Like, never, ever, ever. It's not that it should be an expectation necessarily, but there is, because it is so realistic, or it aims to be so realistic, it's just no, it's just too much. It's too fucking much. And I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, we're done with this, yeah.
Like, this has drained me pretty thoroughly because it's just so relentless in everything.
It really is. Like, there's so many things they could have done better.
Yeah, there is my rules brain that I do have. It's like, I want to understand this because I'm reading it, but then I'm like, no, rules brain, please stop. It's not worth it. We will all die. But rules brain is like, but listen, there's stuff I understand. There's strength in this. I can understand this. And then I'm like, no, stop. And terrible. It's terrible. Like, this is, I don't know if anyone has ever had this this happen to them, but if I may, like, this is basic college math in a nutshell, where the professor will come out and be like, okay, today we will learn what a number is and like how it's defined, and here's this and that, and now we can like prove that this is a number, and next we will talk about like the third derivative of this blah 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 and how this proves this theorem, and somewhere in the middle of that you were just completely lost all of a sudden. Like, somewhere in this, somebody just flipped the switch and made everything too complicated, and now you are lost. And you realize with a daunting sense of dread that you will have to understand it for the finals. And that sucks. And that daunting sense of dread is in this book as well, except you could just not play it and it would be fine. Benny Fan 19 on Twitch, thank you for the follow. Drake, are we done with this?
We are done with this.
That's good.
I have said all I need to say about this.
Okay.
About scrolls need to do what they do. Because if they don't do that, then fuck your system. Like, this is the best example of that, honestly. I would never play a Phoenix Command game, ever. If you combined this and Continuum, you have the perfect game to make me homicidal. So please, no game designer ever do that.
I think you just did 1 million damage to my brain, Drake.
Yeah, like 1 million damage to your brain, but you know, this caused some sort of fragmentation too. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to do next time one that I've mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
That is an actual D20 game.
Okay.
But the reason why it is significant is because it went in a different direction and had some concepts that are interesting to discuss and examine, but in some cases fall flat.
Okay.
But that's totally cool because the whole point is to discuss it. How you could add this kind of thing to your game, and it will be Iron Heroes.
Oh, is that superheroes? Or what is that?
No, that's a Conan-esque D20 game. It's one of those alternate player's handbook games, but all the classes are very different.
I hadn't heard about it, but I'm looking forward to reading that because if it's a D20 game, I can probably wrap my brain around it pretty well.
The rules are easy to wrap your brain around. There are details, though, that are very different in a good way.
Okay. Well, I look forward to that a lot more than I look forward to reading about this. But I did anyway. Until I died and my brain fell out my ear. Yeah. I hope you had fun with this. I think it wasn't really in doubt what we would say to this game, but I mean, this episode was good because we can point out just like even a really well done and realistic hyper realism system isn't gonna be a good game. And I give this game that it's well done and realistic. Like, okay, maybe some values are not perfect, but I give it that they put the time in to make this good for what they wanted to make. It's just not a good product. It's not. It's going to fail. It's going to not sell. It's also not going to be successful. No one's going to want to play it. Like, this is one of the fastest ways for me. If you tell me, oh, let's play this game, that's the fastest way to get me out of your house, I think.
Oh yeah, this is the game this is the fart game. This is the fart game. This is the game that makes you clear out.
Yeah,
this is what it is. Because I can't think of anything else that would make me want to leave as quickly. At least with Continuum, I can sit and make a joke about it. I can't make a joke about this.
Yeah,
I've been very humorless this whole time, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Tyrant, I'm sorry to say we're just about to finish today, but we had a good time doing this game review. Welcome. Who am I gonna rate? I have an idea. Check on them. Ooh.
Chip?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Boo, we fucked it with... Well, you can watch the VOD of this. It's gonna be interesting, I think. Sandert, why is there some sort of age restriction thing on my channel all of a sudden? What is this? Why is the fuck it? I don't want that. Wait, give me a second here. Some chat settings must be on that. Yeah, I'm not blaming you, so I'm just curious if you know. So okay, I do not want moderation on this shit. Emotes only shiver. Slow mode, brief. Chat highlights. Appearance. Is it in moderation settings? Okay, I will have to dig into this on my own time. I would know that's not what it is. I clicked that before. It shouldn't change other settings. We are going to rate Mossy today because I feel like it.
Oh yeah,
Rate Mossy Stone 8. They're playing some sort of a space game. It's kind of appropriate for what we were doing. I have no idea what this is though. What is this? It is called Starmate. And stuff's happening. And I don't know. we will be back on Monday on Track's channel with Vampire. And I will also, before Vampire, play some Rain World again if I can make it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe gonna do a one-off of like MechWarrior instead, because I've been doing a lot of that game.
Oh yeah, to play more of that, definitely. Yep.
We will see. Otherwise, our schedules are gonna drop tomorrow or Monday, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Monday. Yep.
Yeah, look forward to that. And we will see you soon, everyone.
See you soon.
Have a good Sunday. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And stream over.